hopefully I didn't pick up the burp. Uh, Hi guys, Vinny here, giving a quick intro before I toss it over to Griff, as he is in charge of these ones. Just wanted to let you guys know before we begin that we do have currently a Kickstarter going on for the Vault of the Ivory Queen. Art here, link down in the thing, words, chat. I'm having a very long day. Um, but yeah, if you'd like to check it out, we have items. We have magic spells as opposed to the non-magical spells. Again, like I said, long day. Feats and a bunch of other things, and we have stretch goals for life. Yes, Poppy, I put a big RIP over where your placemat used to be. I did it with love. Just wanted to share that real quick. And now we are going back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Griff.
Greetings, viewers. For those of us who have been watching all the way through, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, you need a little bit of an update, or catch up, because this is a weird moment. So, last session, we started having our players arrive at the town of Lorda, and they had just met the basic guardian spokesperson, kind of like greeting party of the town, and in an attempt to not alert the townsfolk of what was going on because of the concern of being swarmed by bringing food, it did mean that the spellcasters who were on Overwatch got a little antsy and took a cheap shot at Ave. So we opened the game with Ave in pain and prone, and when everyone else having reactions to that, and things very quickly got worse. So, as it currently stands, the town that our players have shown up to try to help. A number of people have died in an explosion. Ave has died in a fire, and a lot of the remaining buildings are now partially more damaged. So yeah, that's about where we're at. Let's go around and say hi to our remaining players. Elle, if you'd like to introduce yourself in character.
Okay, I'm Elle. I am playing Quillz, who is a gnome. Usually she's a library assistant, but at the moment she is playing food truck operator slash gauze giver outer. That's where she's at the moment.
And what about you, Artemis?
Yeah, hi, I'm Artemis. I play Snipps. Snipps is a blue-scaled kobold and also one of the cooks in the tavern Marigold, whose owner is currently a smoldering corpse somewhere in the town square. He doesn't know that yet. It is going to be a situation when he finds out, so looking forward to that.
Yay. And for Vinny, welcome back to you.
Hi, I'm Vinny / Vander. You probably know my basic stuff. I am playing Chanor, the normally very sweet, happy-go-lucky individual who's not lucky, and not happy anymore. So we're not sure how this is gonna go.
We used to be cleric.
And I'm the DM and everyone else in the world, Griffin. My information's on the screen somewhere, I assume, but you can follow me on most anything by looking up Griffin ESS. So, how's everyone feeling?
My character's still on. She has no idea what's going on with everybody else. She's just like, gots to do the thing.
I will say you've done a really good job of actually doing things to help the town.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this.
They try. Well, cool try.
How about the other two of you? How are your characters feeling at the moment with where things have left off?
Snipps is currently barely keeping it together and trying to keep himself occupied. Chanor and Ave said, go and help Quillz deal with the food situation, so he went and now is helping Quillz deal with the food situation. We'll see what comes after that.
Chanor.
Chanor is, I don't know how to describe it well. Besides, he has a very big perception flip happening right now of the world. uh, try to do a lot of good. Try to do a lot of good, and people kept doing bad things. So he's about to get angry.
Interesting interpretation. Cool. All right. Well, as it currently stands, the rush fire is still going, and Poppy's corpse is not going to be constitutable for resurrection.
Aves.
As a result of being basically immolated in the spot.
You mean Aves, not poppies, right?
Yes.
I hope
you.
so.
Oh, I hope you're okay, Poppy. I'm not magic. I didn't summon
Poppy.
anything.
Poppy is dead, not Poppy.
Somewhere
currently getting
Poppy is
crisp.
sitting in a room going, I smell smoke. No,
Oh no.
yes. So there are currently still two mages kind of working their way around trying to figure out if there is a threat remaining. Because everything they've done was because they were perceiving a lot of magical use and not knowing what that was for, but feeling threatened by it. But at the moment, all they know is that big bada boom, and Nicola is nowhere to be seen, is also immolated. Moving around, seeing about helping people who might not be dead, although there's a lot of innocent dead. Yeah. Right, so that's where we're starting. Let's see here. Still in the same initiative order. So, Snipps, you're up first. What is on your current to-do list?
My current to-do list is right, so remind me, Snipps and Quillz had a very brief discussion at the end of last session, hadn't they? Just something like, oh, you're here to I'm gonna help you do this. Like that?
You two have had a discussion. I don't have any notes on that because I just assumed you guys
Yeah.
would know what you talked about.
Yeah, we had a discussion. Quills was like, "Oh, hi, Snips." Probably scared the crap out of him. I think she scared the crap out of him when he was on the ladder.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
she was just like, "You keep doing what you're doing. Keep making baskets. I'm gonna keep ferrying them out because she can."
Yeah.
You know.
So Snipps is basically doing that, just packing some of the leftover bandages in a big basket, just taking some of the cups with soup that the other villagers have been preparing and putting that in the basket, and putting the basket out for Quills to grab.
Cool. And Quills, I take it you're still just doing the running back and forth for now?
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, at the end of the last session, you had mentioned something about Nicola's partner starting to help.
Yes.
Okay.
Because due to the timeline reset, you had not actually interacted with her yet, so this was her reappearance back into the narrative.
Right. Okay. So, instead of going like so Quills is going to take some of the supplies. The building that they've been taking people to, or the supplies to, has a lot of people. Quills is going to take medical supplies and go to where there's a lot of, kind of towards the area where Chanor's at, because like just carrying a bunch of supplies.
Okay. You are able to do that without really any problem. Actually, you can get all the way over to Chanor if you are not doing anything else with your action. You can make that movement pretty clean.
Yeah, well, she's not, maybe not like to Chanor, maybe not like to him, but like to like I guess like a group of bodies where like that, because if I remember correctly, Chanor's gone through some of them and made them look like, okay, there's a sign that they're actually dead. She's gonna try to go to some that are like he hasn't gotten to yet, or somebody's still alive, or she thinks maybe.
To be fair, I probably only got to like 2 before everything
Oh.
else happens. If
And
that.
she's just gonna go to like some where like people are prone on the ground. Doesn't know if
Okay.
they're dead or not.
On the left side of the map, any of those leaves represent groups of town people, and if they are red X'd, then they basically got completely decimated. Or no, that's not the right word, because that means 10% is gone. Obliterated, with maybe a few survivors like being shielded by other people who didn't make it. There might be some survivors in those piles, but those are the 3 places where people were kind of like pooled around at the moment.
Yeah. Then with her movement, she might not get all the way to one, but she's gonna get as to the one that's like on the road but not quite. Does that make
Okay. Yeah.
that one?
Let me
On the past Chanor.
Oh, on that road. Okay. Well, you can get to here with double movement, so you can be on your way to it. But that
Okay,
means
then
you are killed by Chanor. So
by Chanor. Well, that's she's got a mission in mind, but she's not. She's like, people help. Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
And Chanor, what are you up to?
Currently staring at Ave's down body. I know it was spellcasting. I don't know which one of them did it. From what I remember last time, so
Correct. Yeah, they were on the other side of the whole bramble.
the closest one to me is the one right behind me, and I'm gonna turn to them. I don't know who it was. Did you do this? Did you cause all this growth? Set it on fire?
That caused the growth. He just kind of like looks back and forth, and he seems to not like, because he wasn't expecting the threat to be tall, like he's looking down at you and just kind of like a little puzzled, but not really connecting that you were involved in the direct conflict. Given that your part of most of it was in that opaque dome, so he has not really seen a lot of you.
Wasn't you? Where? I am going to start looking around for the one who did it.
Okay. Are you going to move to do that, or you're just like looking around?
Yes, I'm wondering if I should roll a perception check before I move. That way, when I move basically in a direction that is beneficial to me, it's because there's a reason.
Fair.
Granted, the top part is a building that's on fire, so I guess going down is kind of my only way anyways.
Yes, theoretically. You could, basically, you could go around towards and honestly, anything that's likely to have survived is going to be on the other side of, on the east side of the map.
Gotcha. So
you would at least know that.
Then yeah, I will start making my way that way. A little wide-eyed, and I'm gonna like going by.
By the way, is the spike growth still on fire?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna just
And slowly spreading, but yeah, it's on fire.
I'm
Light that on.
I'm just gonna walk by Quillz, not even look at her, not even say anything. Just keep walking. I walk 25 feet. Can I make a perception check with my action to try to find the other spellcaster?
You're not going to be able to succeed no matter what, because there's the spike growth and a tree between you and the person on the map who actually did it. So
that's a full tree.
yeah, there's too many obstacles.
Okay, I thought that was a stump.
Oh yes.
Okay.
If I blocked it out, that just meant like I couldn't make it go up, and I'm just like, that's
okay,
fine.
no, that's fair. I just assumed they were stumps because they probably needed like the wood and stuff to make buildings.
Fair.
Cool.
And the things that look like treetops are bushes. So I don't know if that helps clarify.
Yeah, that does actually. It does explain why so many things are on fire now. Cool. I am gonna keep walking east then, since there's probably no hope. So yeah, my entire turn is just walking and looking.
Okay. I mean, you do see other townspeople around going towards that one building where the supplies are being brought to. And if you were to look north right now, you would see a bunch of other townspeople. I mean, the spellcasters aren't wearing anything that kind of like identifies them. Like, they don't have a uniform, so it's just a bunch of people. And you know there's a couple who do stuff, but like for the most part, they all just sort of look similarly clothed.
Could I, as my bonus action, I guess, just make an Arcana check to see if I can see, like, when someone might be casting or someone who might have magical flair or something? I don't know anything else I could potentially do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna. This is where I stop for my turn. It's just waiting here.
Yeah, roll me the Arcana check. Maybe you nail it and you like notice the person's got like a cramp specifically. I don't know.
13 plus 7, so 20.
Now you're kind of looking around for any sign of somebody who like has been casting recently. As you know, like you've noticed your hands have required a little bit of elaborate movements to get some of the spells to fire off. So you were like, I don't see anyone stretching hands. I don't see anyone like, looking tired in a way that makes that you recognize from your own spell casting. Just nothing's jumping out at you.
Gotcha. That's it.
All right. Well, these people are gonna go over here and try to see about those bodies. These people are kind of like moving towards thing, and this person's kind of like checking the bodies over here and then like moving everyone away from them. Everyone else is making their way towards supplies. I think that's all the survivors, unfortunately. Otherwise, the two dead. Oh wait, no, you threw blankets over the bodies in the cart, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And yeah, the other people are just kind of like doing what they were instructed to do. The woman is kind of like helping organize people and making sure that nobody is kind of lingering or staying out in the open, because she doesn't know if things are still going off or not. She is 100% like trying though. Like, while some of the other people don't seem to be aware of whether or not Nicola survived, she is very apparently upset, as if she knows that he might be gone. Although I guess you guys don't have a lot of information for that yet. You don't really know it's his partner anymore, because of the time shuffle. But yeah, I mean, if there's so two of you are doing active help stuff. Chanor, you are still vaguely looking for a fight. Is there anything that I should? Are you going to like actively be on the attack? Should I keep things in initiative, or can we switch back to casual?
I'm going to hurt whoever I find when I find who did it. So we can take it out of combat until I find that person if you want, but like that's
okay.
End result.
Cool. I mean, at the moment, unless you get someone to admit to it blatantly, I don't think there's going to be an easy way. But yeah, for the moment, we're going to come out of combat initiative, although obviously initiative still for order of operations. But yeah, just you guys are going around, you're helping people. The threat seems to be over as far as everyone seems to be concerned. Like everyone who was on high alert is now just sort of focused on helping, and you get the impression they think that whoever they were fighting against was blown up in the bigger explosion or caught up in the rest of the fire and bramble. There's like a couple people kind of watching the bramble to make sure no one like comes out of it, but otherwise, yeah, everyone's just sort of in shock and not assuming there's still a threat here at the moment.
So after at least 10 minutes have passed, unless something else happens, because spike growth only lasts 10 minutes. So after that, the fire should definitely be out then.
Wait, this all happened in 10 minutes. Wow.
I mean, this all happened in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that there's nothing about my universe where things follow the timelines set that way, but It is a concentration spell, so they can keep re-upping it if they feel like there's a need to. There's no reason that they couldn't.
No, fair. Okay. So Snipps is just going to keep helping and basically do whatever Quillz tells them to. And he's in shock. He has just seen someone blow himself up to smithereens right in front of his eyes. He is not really thinking about anything grand right now. But whenever that may be, if and when the spike growth and the fire goes down, he is going to try to go into the middle of it and retrieve his sword.
I see. I mean, it's
Because-
probably going to be about a half hour. By then, the fire will have spread all the way through, and everyone's fairly certain there's no one left hiding in there. So, like, at that point, there's no reason to maintain it. The fire kind of, like, clings to some of the other objects that were, like, the tree's a bit on fire now, the grass was on fire, but the road kind of smolders out. Otherwise, yeah, things sort of open up from there. And there
Okay.
are two very nondescript corpses that are barely identifiable as bodies at this point because they've been in a fire for a half hour.
I'm gonna hold whatever I'm going to do until I see what the others do in that time.
Okay.
I'm gonna start asking people who are like near the spike growth and just be like, did you set the growth ablaze? Did you set the growth ablaze?
And most people are just like, hey, everything's on fire. I have no idea.
I mean,
Uh,
I got like nothing. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So
All right.
Quillz is gonna do what bare minimum medical stuff she knows, and that's essentially just wrapping wounds. And she's not big enough to help carry anybody to the room, to the I was gonna say room, no, it's a building. That's the word I was looking for. So I think Quillz is just, every time she sees somebody who's alive, she's gonna try and cover and what wounds she can with what supplies she has. But she's gonna be like, here's a live one, and then let the people who are normal sized do it.
Gotcha. I mean, you maybe come across 6 people total who are injured from the blast who are able to move under their own power, and that you can kind of spot and direct some help towards. There are some people who are like, you see way north, the other standing buildings. There are some folks who were inside the buildings who didn't get hit by the blast, but now they're focused on, like, keeping the fire off the buildings that are still standing. But for the most part, everyone's just sort of congregating and, like, checking to see who's left, finding out who the people who survived the blast were with when most people who were in those groups didn't, so they can kind of get an estimate of who's missing. But yeah, there's just a episode 4, lots of trauma for everybody.
Yeah, and Quillz still doesn't know who's all dead. Like, she doesn't know that Avi's dead yet while she's helping.
Neither does Snipps.
Chanor, I think, is the only one who knows that Ave was in there and that the fire went up around them and tried to, like, actively intervene. And because the bodies were in the fire for for a half hour or more, they're going to have no discernible, like, there might be jewelry left that you could sift through later, but for the most part, these are not going to be recognizable, and so even if you walked past them, you're not going to know unless somebody tells you. You just know that you can't find her right now.
Okay.
We would be able to recognize her. The decanter of endless water is a magical item. So-
I don't. I mean, yeah,
Harvey had
but
it.
She did
Yes.
have it.
So
that-
at least Chanor would be able to recognize her.
but by that logic, you also died in the fire. Your sword is in there.
Yeah, but I'm also still living and running around.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's not a definitive you can by all means jump to the conclusion. I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be a while and until Chanor blatantly tells you guys, I'm gonna treat this as an uncertainty. You can be panicked at that point, but
Yeah.
No, Snipps wasn't in the dome when Chanor and Ave basically made the plan of going out to either help people or stop spreading the fire, stop the fire from spreading. But just saying that if Chanor were to inspect the bodies, he would know that it's Ave.
he already knows it's Ave.
Yeah, I already know Ave's in there. I'm not.
Yeah.
My concern
So
is not the
he's
corpse.
the only one who does know. He just
Okay,
isn't telling anyone
fair.
yet. So
Yeah, no.
Fair.
Currently, I'll probably do something else because I have another thing I'll probably end up doing. It's still not a good thing, but yeah, no, I'm not worried. Like, the body's there and the body's dead. There's nothing I can do about that, so I'm going to do something about something else.
Yep. I mean, unless told otherwise, I'm going to assume that you guys are just, like, among the traumatized and either helping or just kind of, like, in shock standing around for a while. But eventually there's just going to be townsfolk who are like, at least those people are okay, and some of our people are in that part and they're helping and there's food and stuff. Like, that's a plus. Like, it just sort of,
Yeah. I would say that Quillz isn't traumatized or shocked. She's just in like a you do this. You do this.
Yeah.
She's the one who's just like, all right, do things. So she's
Yeah,
she's
I'm just saying,
also
like,
way shorter than
if nobody's taking any other actions, it's literally just like trauma response and cleanup
Yeah.
for like hours. Unless somebody has something that changes the tone of things.
Yeah.
Eventually people will just kind of be like, oh, these people are from out of town. How'd you get stuck in all this? But no one's going to do small talk. It's just going to kind of be a vague thing that people notice and you see them notice, but nobody's cared about the details at the moment.
I'm going to find the spellcaster I found before, the first one, who was near me.
And you recognize them. That's easy enough.
Yeah. And be like, a hand goes on their like leg, I guess, or something. Actually, I need to figure out what the size difference really is for halfling and.
I mean, they're just sitting against a wall at this point. Like, they've done everything they can, and they're just sitting against a wall, like head in hand. And then you just approach, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, it's you again."
I need to find the other spellcaster.
And there's like
anyone who's
4 of
left.
them. 2 of them are still missing. I don't know.
Can you help me find them?
Yes.
Thank you.
He like begrudgingly stands up and kind of like peeks over a thing. He's like, "Well, up there's dead." And pointing at the gazebo, and you just see like there's a corpse like half smoldering
Just
still
on it.
on the gazebo, flopped over.
Okay.
Other guy who was on that roof, I don't see anywhere. And the one who is on the tower is around someplace. And then he like spots Yellow eventually, who's just kind of like at this point helping people over here. Like, oh yeah, the guy who's like handing out blankets and stuff. He was probably the other one close by.
Do you have any ice or water towers?
No, we barely know the stuff we know.
I'm gonna watch Yellow for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, he's just helping with the recovery stuff, like handing things out. As Quillz brings supplies and food over, like he kind of just makes sure it gets distributed, and it seems to be keeping track of like who has what, who needs what. He's talking to the woman who was helping out, also Nicola's partner, who you guys don't know was his partner. The 2 of them seem to be both taking lead on a lot of the organizational end of things.
Well, eventually we're going to run out of food.
We're gonna run out of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, Here's a question which I would have probably concerned myself with a little sooner. Is the wagon on fire? Or is gauze on fire? Because they got hit in the blast, but there was a radiating thing. I don't know if that was continuous.
I know I know Band-Aid got pinged.
Yeah.
And they only had 1 hit point left, and Gauze has got down to 1 hit point from the blast.
Correct.
Because I remember that being the running gag at the moment. But the wagon did get scorched a bit, but it didn't catch.
Gotcha.
Now it just looks cool.
Yeah, it's stylized now.
You don't have to stay in the wood anymore.
It's an even cooler food truck.
I'm gonna just.
I would say it's hotter, but that's just me.
Oh.
I'm just gonna like put my hand on the side of the wagon and just like hit my head against the wagon a couple times, being like, "What do I do?"
Jaina, I wouldn't do that. That hurts.
Chanor, do you want me to tell you what to do, or do you want to just figure it out on your own? Because I can be bossy if you want.
What would Ave have done?
Passed out this freaking
Where is
food.
she?
I just look towards. I guess the fire, which doesn't narrow it down, but look towards the like spike growth. Just say. Tried to get her out.
So she's still
It burned her.
Snips's facial expressions just drop. Just completely.
Sorry, there's a comment in the chat that says at least the food will be hot.
Thanks, Gara.
Wow.
Too soon.
Sorry.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna mute.
This is why we're friends.
Yeah. I think Quill's reaction is going to be like, she's just going to kind of freeze. She's going to take a deep breath. And she's going to just be like, okay. Well, Poppy would have handed out this food.
Ave.
Ave would have handed out this food. To be fair, Poppy would also hand out the food.
Yeah, but Poppy would also have been still alive.
This is true.
I don't know. I think Poppy would die in a fire a lot quicker. If I'm being honest. Sorry.
Darker in here.
So Quillz is just going to tamp down the sadness and the shock, and she's just going to be like, Avi would hand out the food, so I'm going to hand out the food.
Snipps is just staring into the distance, kind of clenches his fist with the little, I guess, talons or claws or whatever, just digging into the palm of his hand.
I think Quillz is going to take an extra blanket and just put it around Snipps' shoulders.
Just struggles out of a blanket, looks at Jaina. Who did it?
If I still have eyes on the person, I will.
Oh yeah, they're still just out in front doing things, helping.
I'll point to. I'll like be a little shaky, but I'll be like, I believe he set the blaze. She.
How certain are you?
I found the one who made the spike growth themselves, and he didn't seem like he was the one who did actual fire. And
Jaina, how certain are you?
What's 16 times 5? 80%.
Um, Snipps is just taking a deep breath. I want to kill him.
Okay.
It's justifiable. It's justifiable. But hasn't there been enough death for one day?
I don't know. Has there?
So, Snipps, what would Avi want you to do?
She would want me to hand out the food.
So we're going to. Well, I don't know about you.
And
I'm
look
going to
where
handle
that
it with food.
got us.
Yes, our cauldron's almost empty. We've handled it
We
with food.
came here to help. Avi's dead. I still think the townsfolk need us, or need someone. I do not think that one deserves our help. Just looking over to Yellow.
Anna, what do you think?
I'll help whichever one of you does something first.
Is the spike grove still burning?
No, I said it's smoldered down. The
Okay.
road itself is clear, but the grass and any wood that was around it, including the tree, they're still on fire, though.
So safe,
Looking at Quillz.
safe to traverse
go
or
ahead.
not safe to traverse?
The road itself is safe to traverse. You just can't go off the road into the grass in that circle still.
Gotcha.
I mean, you probably could if you moved quickly. It wouldn't, like, it's not going to catch you immediately, but it'd be a little bit of a hot foot game.
Walking on hot cold situation.
Yeah, like that.
Artemis,
Oh.
you were saying something.
So uncomfortable, but not enough to damage you, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, good. I'm going to get my sword. And I want to leave this place. And I do
Then
not
we'll
want
pack
to
up.
return to this place. And with that, Snipps is just going to walk straight to where the Leomund's tiny hut used to be.
Chanor, did you leave anything in the tiny hut?
Ave.
That was
Nothing else?
dark.
Nothing else? You didn't leave anything else there? Something that you dropped?
I have a feeling Snipps will make sure to get everything. I'm gonna head off towards Olby or Oli. I forget what the name was of the kid that was originally pretending to cry on the street.
Toby.
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 I'm gonna go up.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So bad.
You're welcome.
Oh, we have fun.
I'm gonna go up to them, whatever they're doing. Not need to kneel down because I'm the same height, probably, if not shorter. Say, Toby, I hope whatever happens here, you end up okay. If you need anything, come to OPEC. walk back to the wagon.
Okay.
While they're doing that, Quillz is going to kind of sort of pack up the wagon in a sense, like put things away. And the people inside of the wagon, she's going to be like, "We're about to head back to Opehc. You're more than welcome to come with us if you would like, but I also do not blame you if y'all want to stay here."
Yeah, no, we're gonna take these two and give them a burial or something, I guess. But thanks, appreciate the lift and understanding before. They just kind of like still a little bit overdone, but they get out and kind of like pull the bodies out and put them off to the side and get the dog and do the same.
Yeah. She before they leave, she does tell them that if they ever are in Opehc to visit her at the library.
Okay. 8.
Being nice.
No, I know. I just my head sees everything you guys do. My brain immediately sees dominoes like 8 steps down the road. So my brain just like clocks things that I know just got unlocked.
When you randomly get shanked in the middle of the library alleys.
Yeah. So essentially,
Library alleys.
there's no reason why you guys shouldn't know this as players, but after talking to Toby and identifying yourself as from Opehc and doing the same with these guys, there will eventually, as people start to talk in town, people will kind of piece together what has happened, and then they'll know that you three from Opehc were here, and you were directly involved in all this chaos that just occurred. So there might be potential side effects. I don't know what they are yet, but I just see that there's now a paper trail, for lack of a better term. But yeah.
Did
So
they
you guys
not
pack
know
up.
we were from Opehc originally?
I believe those guys might have, but it might not have been in the forefront. But the fact that now they have like the library specifically to tie you to is different than like the town itself. Toby might have reinstated the town. But yeah, it dialed in closer and closer. But now they have point of contact. Yeah, you guys pack up, and head back before nightfall, I presume.
Can I safely assume Snipps also grabs my decanter?
Snipps is going to get his sword and then also going to get what he assumes is Ave's corpse, because there's only one other corpse and that one is blown to bits.
Fair. Although Avi's
So
corpse is more of just like a lot of gunk and maybe some bones that haven't completely disintegrated.
whatever he can take, and he's probably just taking a blanket and just putting whatever kind of stuff is left of Ave on that blanket, and then basically bundling it up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything else over there?
I'm assuming her stuff is also on her person.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been in the same general area, and anything magical would likely not have burnt up, and anything metal also. But for the most part, like clothes and whatnot, would have fallen apart.
In that case, he's just going to bundle up. He's just going to bundle up whatever's left of a corpse and their personal belongings, and just make a bundle out of it,
Okay.
and then just go back. Stopping a little while at the burning of charred remains of Nicola. Just looking at it for a bit until the ground under his feet becomes too hot, and he's like, and just goes back to the
I will
wagon.
say that while you're standing there, you do also see that Nicola's his big hatchet, or his big axe and his smaller hatchet, are both still there, and there is a small metal case, probably about the size of a can of soda, for lack of a better anything. I don't know why I couldn't think of a good comparison.
That's fine. One moment. Yeah. Snipps is going to just take a look at this metal case. He has absolutely no interest in the weapons whatsoever. And just maybe picks it up, looks at it. What exactly does it look like? Does it have a latch or something like that?
It's a small. It looks like it's just a solid object, but you can feel that it's hollow and has something in it. And there does seem to be. No, I guess that wouldn't be there anymore. The fire would have cleared that off, or the blast would have cleared that off. Right now, it does not look like it has any openings or seams.
Okay.
But it is about the size of a case, and you can hear something inside it.
How does it sound? Just like, I don't know, maybe an object or something, or sand or something rattling inside of it?
It's rattling. It's a couple of things rattling. There's a bunch of stuff in it. It sounds small, or the things sound small, but it's just
Okay.
undeterminable at the moment. It doesn't sound. It's not too heavy. If that's any useful information.
In that case, if no one is stopping him from doing so, he's just going to put that thing, just close his hand around it, and put the thing also in the little sack with all his remains and belongings.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do before you guys head out?
If there's any healing potion left, I'd like to give it to Gauze so she can actually make the return trip home.
Fair enough.
Go out with a bowl of soup. Just eat it.
Cool. Well, you folks wrap yourselves up and head back to town. You do anything specific upon returning? Like, what is your next stop at that point? You're heading back to the specific place together, or you're all just going to your own homes? Like, what is the next move?
Quillz wants to go to Ave's tavern.
Yeah. I feel like the tavern would be where the wagon is headed anyway, and the clinic is just next door. So
Oh, they're definitely not actually near each other, but that's no big deal. I remember correctly,
never mind.
on the map, they're like way on opposite ends. But let me double check the actual map.
We can still drop it. We can still
Clinic.
drop the wagon at the
They're
Marigold.
relatively close. I mean, the library's the farthest.
I mean, either way,
I know they're relatively close, but next door was absolutely not an option.
No,
Not
yeah.
next door. Not next door.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Chanor is concerned, the wagon belongs to Ave, so he's going to park it in front of the Marigold, unhitch Gauze, and just kind of let her go. She knows to behave, so it's just to remain cooped up. I am fine with also going into the Marigold and just like sitting for a few. I don't think the drive back was enough.
That's fair. And Snipps is just because the tavern is closed, the tavern is empty, apart from those three. Snipps is just going to quickly go into.
Sorry. So you're closing the tavern upon arrival? Because you do have other employees who would have been running it. Like, there were probably people on site when you guys get back.
And in that case, what time of day would it be when we arrive?
You guys were getting back before sundown, I presume? Unless you guys want to be later or earlier?
So dinner time.
Yeah. So, yeah, the other employees are running it like it would be normal if that is when you guys actually arrive. I announced
Okay.
when you were leaving that it was before sundown, so I assume that you were on board for it. But if you want it to be
Okay.
different, I am okay with that.
No, I'm okay with that. So we're just going to he's just going to direct the other two into the usual alcove table, whatever. Those four used to have, and is then quickly going into the pantry of a tavern, and is coming back with the strongest booze he has. Just there's probably one bottle that's used for just special occasions, but there's one bottle that's even more special occasion or something like that. Basically that one.
I mean, if you want the strongest booze in the place, it's probably going to be the stuff used for cooking. But so it's not going to be the quality stuff, but it'll be the strong stuff.
Okay, the strongest stuff that's still
Palatable.
palatable. Yeah, basically that. So just I don't
Gotcha.
know, maybe
Okay.
a very strong brandy or whiskey or secco or something like that.
Gotcha.
And he's just bringing it back with 4 little glasses, and is pouring around. Sets one of those in front of everyone, and one in front of the now empty fourth chair. Downs his glass in one shot.
It probably hits harder
Okay.
with all of us being small, huh?
Yes.
I don't know. Dwarves are also quite small.
Fair.
Yeah, but they're meaty.
Gee.
Yeah. Quillz is gonna be sipping on hers. But this is a side note. The shirt that I'm wearing right now says first I drink the margaritas and then I know the things. So I think it's a fitting shirt.
Yeah,
I like it.
Thanks.
it's nice.
Because I just knew there'd be alcohol in this episode. I just knew it.
Trying to just kind of like staring at his glass. Just tilts it towards Ave's chair and then downs it.
Quillz is just staring at the chair. That's empty.
Well, around you, there are people dining and coming and going and talking and laughing and not really tuned into the tone change in the corner, given that the alcove table is a little bit recessed and tucked away, I presume.
Yeah.
We just gotta hydrate.
That's why I hydrated.
Yes. But the others didn't.
Thank you, hydrate.
It was, I'm gonna butcher that pronunciation, but it was Scarafina 13 that hydrated us.
Garafina.
I was close with the pronunciation. I was off.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So, I mean, honestly, for the rest of this half, I am kind of leaving it to you guys how you want to move time forward. I will force the story to move along after break, but I figure you guys deserve a wake currently, so I'm kind of leaving you at your own pace. But if you would like to make it bedtime and long rest time, then we can kind of like jump things forward. But I don't know what else you folks would like to do at the moment, if anything.
Just drink.
Drinking is solid.
Awesome. Yeah, just drink.
Yeah, just slowly and very sadly drink ourselves into intoxication.
Tanner is just gonna start saying things like, I just can't believe a whole town is so against getting help. Hurting the people trying to help. Get it. I don't get this. And just gestures at the empty chair.
Snipps' thoughts are a little more on the tavern itself, basically along the lines of okay, I have been doing the books, but Ave was basically the front face of the tavern, and I don't know what to do right now. Do we sell the tavern? Do I try to run it in her stead? Are we going to open up tomorrow? Are we going to close down for the day?
I think you should tell your coworkers first.
Maybe not tonight.
I'm not sure I'm ready to tell them yet. I will tomorrow, but
Yeah, maybe let them have tonight.
Maybe let us
let
have tonight.
myself have tonight.
We can talk out all the things in the morning that need to get talked out.
We also
once
probably
in her
need to
life.
clean the cart.
What was that, Quillz?
I was gonna say for once in her life, Quillz doesn't feel like reading. But yes, the cart needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
It can all wait.
Tomorrow then.
Unless we want to try to clean it while drunk. Don't think that would work real well.
A much needed laugh, but I don't feel like laughing.
Not really, but not anymore.
Quillz is gonna finish the rest of hers and say goodnight.
Quillz is going to be smart.
She's gonna head on out. She's gonna say goodnight, of course.
Yeah.
To Chanor, Snipps, and even the chair. She's gonna say goodnight to the empty chair. And then she's gonna head home.
What are you two doing?
Snipps is definitely going to at least stay a little while longer in the alcove, just lost in quite dark thoughts and thinking about what could have been different, how did it get so wrong, and stuff like that. Also just silent brooding.
That's not too dissimilar for what Chanor's doing. Chanor has like one drink, maybe one more, and then kind of stops. And a lot of it's just him doing like low talking that he's used to doing for patients and stuff, where it's just like I keep saying words. Maybe it makes sense to somebody, and maybe it helps whoever I'm talking to. So he's kind of like defaulting to that state with like kind of to Snipps, but not really, and kind of to the empty chair, but not really. It's just he's just saying words, and they just keeps thinking, but like trying to help people that don't want to be helped, but they want to be helped, but they don't trust anybody, but they don't trust anybody, and but they want help, but they can't trust anybody. But then they go out and do bad things, and they do bad things at home, and it's just a circular pattern. It's just a lot.
Other people don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't even know if he even's hearing anybody, or if he's just saying it all. He's trying to just make sense of a lot of the things that he saw up close. Makes sense because they don't seem like commonsensical reactions, even to people who are desperate. It just to him it seems wrong, but that's an opinion, not a fact. So he's just going through them and being like, this choice didn't make any sense either. I don't know why you would, and just like he's just that's how he's handling it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I presume that the other two of you eventually wind down and end up asleep somewhere.
Yeah.
At the table.
You'll have the next week with your normal downtime slots to figure out how you want to be spending that downtime. Obviously, you still have jobs to do and lives to lead, unless you want to be like, I stopped showing up to work, which is totally an option. And then you can have more slots for downtime, but...
Oh no. They wouldn't want that. Should we then roll a new initiative because it's technically another day/session? Or should we just
After I
keep in
know what the
order?
downtime stuff is.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 slots, right?
Yep.
I have a list somewhere in here.
I know 2 of my slots are going to be. I guess the third one's going to be.
Okay.
Is Alvy's funeral going to be a downtime slot, or is that just going to be like
if you guys
we
are
went to
doing
the
a funeral,
funeral?
then yes.
Snipps is definitely going to have some kind of funeral with going to the cemetery and trying to not get too many questions asked as of the how, and it's just basically trying to give her a proper burial.
Okay, so
Funeral.
that's so 1 slot for planning and 1 slot for having? Is what it sounds like?
If it's going to be 2 slots, then yes. Otherwise, it would be 1 slot for me to give Avi a burial.
So basically, you can either like go to the cemetery and actually like plan and announce a thing, that kind of gets set up as a thing, or you guys can just like talk to the engineer, not the engineer, the caretaker, and just have a like private thing. That is also an option, but I will leave that to your discretion. If you're planning like a big thing or a thing that like it's known, then
Oh
that's
no,
1 for planning, 1 for the actual ceremony. If it's just the ceremony, then that's its own thing.
Snipps would like to keep it in a just smallish circle and not make a grand statement or grand thing out of it.
A lot of people did know her, though, right? She had one of the more popular restaurants around here. She had connections with a bunch of food people, like Joaquin and stuff. Like, there's at least a few people that are going to service that.
What are you going to tell them how she died? That we went to Lauder and Lauder killed her.
Get why you still don't get why you can't tell people the truth. That's what happened.
We tried the truth. Nicola chose to blow himself up because of our truth.
What if we tell people the most basic of truths? She passed away unexpectedly while we were out of town, and we had her cremated. None of that is wrong, and it's not a lie.
Yeah, but usually people aren't alive anymore before you cremate them.
No, I know. She passed away unexpectedly,
Sorry, that's out of character.
and then we had her cremated.
Yeah.
Because technically she didn't crumble until you started picking her up.
I don't. Great.
That's Elle speaking, not Quillz. Quillz is not gonna put anything say anything like that to Snipps. No.
I don't.
Yeah.
We can have a small funeral. Snipps, if I can, do you mind if I throw something here? I'm not one. I can't do a lot of the plannings. We all know who the planner was for our group, but I want to give other people a chance to pay their respects too.
I think we could say that it is going to be a private burial, but a public wake. Is that what y'all want?
Okay. If you two think that that's the proper way to do it, then we're gonna do it that way.
I don't know what the proper way in this time period would be exactly. So
I need the 3, honestly.
I will.
Like all three of these
have to-
options are within the norm for most cultures.
I don't know if it costs anything, but I'll use a slot to have like a remembrance party of some sort.
Yeah.
Do you want the
so-
wake, the remembrance party memorial wake thingy to be at the tavern?
And it could be how most people know her. We can do it somewhere else if we want.
I
think the
think
tavern would be the
tavern
most
would be
fitting.
the most appropriate thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At the Marigold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use one of my slots for the party itself.
Yeah, me too, and another slot for planning and writing a very difficult letter to her father. Because her family should at least know that she's no longer under the living.
Okay. So tavern wake, writing, planning. I'll put the letter and the planning in the same
Yeah,
aspect.
okay.
Well, if the wake is like my thing, so is it a point for me?
Oh no, attending the wake is one of the downtime things. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure
Attending.
like the planning of it is just a hey, we're gonna be open, we're gonna be closed for business, but open for a thing. And
Well,
other than like getting an image and some decorations and whatnot, like I can't imagine there's a lot of details that need to be worked out if you own the space that you're running the event at.
fair.
Fair.
My third slot is probably going to be visiting Josepha.
Cool. We'll take care of that in a moment. Chanor, so attending the wake's one. You know what you're doing for your other two?
Attending the funeral, if that's a separate thing.
Yeah, the wake and funeral, their own things are separate.
We'll stack them as a thing because you're not doing a big funeral, so you'll do the wake, and then the three of you either before the wake or after the wake can have the burial as like part of the same downtime day.
Gotcha.
Okay. Should we send? Okay, this is just part of the funeral talk. Should we send her remains back to her family,
I think we can
or
have.
is that a question you're going to ask in your letter?
I was gonna say, Snipps is writing a letter. Maybe just ask.
Okay.
Snipps would actually no, just any character. I don't think so because I mean, Ave's family was from OPEC originally. At least that's how she told it to me. And then her father moved away and met her mother, and they started a life somewhere else. But her grandmother and just those people, at least as far as I remember, they were from here. So I don't know. I've actually never tried checking, but maybe there is some kind of family burial place or something like that.
We can check. We don't have to send her away. Oh. Right, so for me, the wake / funeral. Another slot I have to use for the wagon bills. Because of the week before I was said that I had to use it this week. So if I can just add to that, I will also just be doing heavy cleaning while also doing the modding, just as
Cool.
distractions to try to get it back up to. That's my passion project to distract myself is just rebuilding this goddamn thing.
Gotcha.
If I had a slot left, I would so help you with that.
Nope, Chanor needs it. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
And this is, I think, the third or fourth week. I've lost track. I think maybe third, where I'm going to go back and do more medicinal studies. I forget how many I had to hit where I got the permanent boost to medicine, but I'm going to keep going until I get there. So I'm going to distract myself with
Research,
books and
research,
woodwork.
go into research. This will get you the permanent boost this time.
So, take it. I get my doctorate. Very proud of myself.
Quillz, what are you doing for your other 2 slots? Presuming you're going to the wake also.
Yes. Quills is also going to want to join Snipps and going to Josepha's. And
Okay.
she is her third slot. She's going to go back to the docks. In part to check and see if anything else has popped up, but also to check in with her friends that she's made at the little mini bar pub thing they have, and just to get absolutely smashed because she's still sad about losing Ave.
Oh, that totally tracks.
So she's working, but she's also still sad.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you go to the docks. You ask if there's any new stories, and a couple people have new sightings of lights and stuff, and it's been still circulating as a fairly regular occurrence. Not any more new details, just whatever's happening is still happening, it seems. But you totally have your own like little coping session with all the dock workers and whatnot. But you and Snipps head to Josepha's at some point. So let's do that. So you two head out. What time of day are you going over?
When do you want to go, Snipps?
You're choosing.
Mid-morning, almost lunch.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay.
Your folks head over. You catch her kind of loading up a cart. It's a hand-dragged thing, a lot smaller than like one that needs to be pulled by something else, but it's got just like some key supplies, some other raw materials, and some like metal discs and some other like stuff that you've seen in her workshop before. She's just like, oh hey, yeah, I was just about to do the rounds, re-up the area storage and swap out for the food vendors and do all the things for normal upkeep. What's on your minds? I see that you guys got yourselves in a bit of a pickle recently.
We're not. Well, that's an interesting way of putting it. It was more of us trying to stay out of a pickle and the pickle following us. And then caught up with us.
I guess there are perspectives.
What she's trying to say is that Ave's dead, and Lauda's problems are Lauda's problems alone.
That's also a way to handle things. Okay.
I'm sorry, but some people do not deserve to be helped.
Her lips go a little tight, but she doesn't say anything.
Josepha, have you ever lost a friend before?
More than a few.
How did you cope?
I was mostly dealing with surviving something they didn't, and I just wanted to make sure that given that I was the one who made it out, that I made a proper use of what time I got that they didn't.
That seems smart. I guess what Snipps is trying to say is we're struggling without Ave, and we want to help, but we tried, and it's disheartening.
Oh yeah, no, I it's a divination thing really, but I saw a lot of what happened. It definitely wasn't plan A, and a lot of things went wrong to get you from one end of that situation to another, but it was not pretty on anyone's side.
No, a lot of lives are lost. Needlessly. Lives were lost. You can't say
Yeah.
we're not the only ones suffering, but I think because of the reasons we went there, it cuts deeper. If that makes the sense.
I totally get how it would feel that way from your perspective. That makes the person you lost is the one you guys are gonna feel and care about. And given that you went in with one intention and it's not the way things planned out, that's definitely its own thing. But there's a lot of people over there who weren't aiming to be involved in anything that day at all, other than hopefully getting something to eat, and now they're watching their loved ones get buried for less logical reasons than you folks have. Like, at least you have an idea of why things happen the way they did. They are working with nothing.
To think we at least solved their problem of a meal.
Ones who survived were a little less in pain from lack of food for the next couple days. That was definitely a value add.
I tried.
You did. You did a
I
lot of.
wouldn't call it a success, but I wouldn't call it a failure either.
No, I mean, actually, you did the least exasperating of, or exacerbating? One of those two. Out of the entire situation. You were just focused on getting food into people's hands.
Exacerbating is the word. And yeah, that's what we went there to do. And I didn't know what was happening until it was already done.
What would you want us to do?
I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
If we went there and last time we lost one of our own, and we weren't in trying to fight or something like that. We weren't in planning on just setting our lives on the line. We were just trying to get food there. What would you want us to do?
I mean, none of that was even on my list of things I thought needed to be dealt with, so I'm off book here. Like Leto picked you guys out to
I'm
deal
not
with the
accusing
blight.
you. I'm just looking for
No,
guidance.
no. I'm just saying, like, I don't have a direct perspective. Like, if I had gone to try to help and things started to go wrong, I definitely, probably wouldn't have started trying to mind control people as my first gut reaction. But I guess that's, like, when you have new power in your hands, maybe that's an answer. That seems like it's an option. I don't
was
know. Leto
trying
picked
to
you guys out
get him
because
to
he
stop shooting at Darby. This is the only tool I could think of apart from attacking him.
like I said, it wasn't plan A. A lot of things went wrong. But, you know, trying to find out why might have, like, usually asking questions before taking action kind of does useful stuff. But that's not everyone's approach. So, obviously, the person who shot Ave to begin with didn't ask questions. They responded to what they were expecting, and they did. And then everyone else did the same thing. Everyone assumed they knew what was happening and took actions in response. And that's everything happened from one end to the other, as far as I saw.
The roads. The attacks on the roads. Did we at least solve that problem, or did we find out the cause?
You might have found out the cause. I am not sure yet how that solves anything or not. I mean, there's less mouths to feed, so maybe some of the tension comes off. Without Nicola, they might be less organized for that type of activity. I have no idea how involved he was in any of that. I do know that his wife now has the axe cutter role, so she's kind of spearheading a lot of the like reorganization and kind of defense tactics. So maybe that changes things in a good way, or maybe it makes it worse. I have no idea yet. It's still way too close to know what happens with the next tilt. But
Okay, so at least we have the cause figured out.
I mean, the important thing is that if you do solve the blight, then that still helps them. So if you're trying not to help them, that is a little bit of a concern, because you can't really
I'm not
not
trying.
stop the blight in an isolated way. But
Do not misunderstand me. I never want to return to that town. I am not
Oh, yeah.
stupid. I'm not stupid enough to, or not proud enough, I guess, to just plant my feet into the ground and refuse to do anything that might benefit them.
That's good to hear.
I'm not a. If I need to go to Lorta, I'm not opposed to going back there. But I think for right now, it's not high on my list of priorities. Helping them, if I can help them from here, I will.
And that's fair too. I mean, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion on whether or not to go there. As far as what Leader's told me from kind of following you guys around, which he does, by the way, he follows everybody around, and it's so obnoxious. But as far as I can tell, like
That's the
nothing
little
about
creepy guy.
like yeah, but the blight definitely has affected their turf, but definitely nothing about anything he saw implied that there was anything source based up there. So I don't know. And obviously they're next to the woods, and the woods have some stuff going on, but the town itself is just suffering after effects.
Okay.
For the best as I can tell, anyway.
In any case, the reason I came here was apart from just telling you what had happened, which apparently was unnecessary because you already know.
Yeah, but you didn't know I knew, so I do appreciate the heads up.
Okay. It's actually twofold. On the one hand, what happened with Ave must never happen again. And I wanted to ask if you either have some or know somebody who has some remedies or some methods of healing someone in combat or just in some kind of dangerous situation. I don't know, maybe a potion or maybe some basically instant bandages, something that makes people less hurt.
I mean, you guys should have access to some healing magic if your books provided it, but if they didn't, I know you guys have had healing potions because you use them in the food. I don't think I have anything outside of those obvious things.
Wait.
And Chanor skills, you know, he's not here, but I mean, he knows how to address wounds.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I ran out of basically all my magical power during whatever happened at Lorda. Shayna also looked very rough. Trying to rely on things that may run out, be magical power or whatever, might not be enough. So I'm trying to look for other options. Just, I don't know, basically a band-aid.
Well,
That's
that's what I'm saying is that Chanor has like medical kits and bandages and supplies access, and you guys had healing potion that was used for something that wasn't to heal you guys. You used it to on the people of Lord. I know there's some magic stuff, but
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
definitely should not be relying on that completely because that's just a benefit. That should not be the first thing you lean on.
Um, Also, and he kind of holds up the little can-sized metal box, I guess. The thing we got
Yeah.
in the town square from Nicola.
She's like, oh, I haven't seen that in a while. And she like holds it on each
And
side and like rotates it, and like the whole
yeah,
thing just kind of like opens up like a little case, and you just see it's full of seeds.
and I don't- okay,
You have its sibling? 'Cause there's two of them, and they can track each other, which means that his wife probably knows where you are since you've had that.
I do not know what it is or even that it opened up. I just wanted to bring it to you to either assess it or potentially know if it's dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, I made
I
this
don't,
for
I
them a
don't
while
know.
back. They needed to protect, with all the plants dying, they wanted to put the seeds someplace where they wouldn't be affected by the blight, so that maybe once it got fixed, they could replant some of their the crops that were there. They didn't want to have to start from nothing.
That is smart.
I
Yeah. They each have one, and I believe there's 10 of each type of certain types, and then that way they can kind of restart even if one of them wasn't there. They both have the option to.
So we can track her.
Yes. It like closes it back again, and then says like two keywords that clearly are like trigger words and not a magic casting of its own. But it basically like there's a slight reflective. The metal basically becomes semi-transparent, and you get this sort of compass indicator. It's just like this yellow mark that kind of like bobs in the direction that Lorda is.
What happens when you get really close?
I mean, if you walk past, then the arrow just kind of like flips abruptly. But yeah,
Oh,
that's usually
so it's
how much the
essentially
arrow moves.
just a compass.
I mean, yeah, just instead of north, it points to the other one.
Like Jack Sparrow's compass, it points to what you want most.
I don't know that Jack Sparrow fella, but I just took it because I don't know, it
I knew a
seemed
magpie named
important,
Jack Sparrow who
I
used to
guess.
steal a lot of stuff.
The monkey steals.
Thank you. Now Jack Sparrow is canon.
Yep.
Or someone called Jack Sparrow.
And it's a magpie because they only call themselves Sparrow to try to throw off the trail.
That's amazing and I love it. No, I saw it lying roughly where they had died or the other had died. I don't remember. It seemed it seemed important, and I don't even really know why I took it, but
It's definitely important, and at some point she'll want to know where it is. I mean, just be happy it wasn't one of the axes, because those things have a bit of a curse on them of some kind. I don't know if curse is a strong word. They have a hex on them. So, had you picked one of those up, it might have been a different conversation. But, I mean, at most, they're going to probably want these back eventually, but at the moment, they're probably
I
not paying too
don't
close attention.
I don't care for it. I just wanted to know what it is and whether or not we could maybe use it.
I don't think we should use it. I think we should return it.
And you could empty
Snip's
the
just
seeds out and use the case for. I mean, it does protect things from blight, so it does have that as a benefit. But
I don't want to have to do anything with that woman, so
If when we return it, when we decide to return it, I'll go without you.
thank you, Quillz. Yeah, she didn't do anything except patch people up all day, right? That was the Snipps.
did she know that he had a bomb around his neck?
I mean, I'm
That
sure people did, yeah.
that would explain the explosion.
Right, you were in the cart. Yeah, no, that was they had been attacked by a few blight monsters on a couple of occasions, and normally the plan was to take that and throw it. But yeah, he did always have that as a contingency if he needed to be like there. He was willing to blow himself up to protect the town. I don't think he expected to be knocked outside of the hut in the process.
That's an incredibly stupid plan.
Well,
Again, it's not plan A.
that's
A lot of things had to go wrong before he tried it.
desperate times call for
No,
desperate.
just the I'm going to blow myself up while being basically acting head chief of a town and trying to run it and being the one figure that people look up to and organize stuff.
Oh,
That's an
understand,
incredibly
like,
stupid plan.
he was the guardian of the town and kind of got stuck running things after all the leadership used what money they had to take off once the town started to fail. Like, he was a he was basically glue doing the best job he could, and guarding was plan A. Everything else was just him coping.
With that being said, I think it would be best if I went back to Lorda whenever we decide to give back the seeds in the seed pouch. I think it'd be best if I went alone, because I was not perceived as a threat then, whereas both of you were.
That might be smart. They've definitely had time to talk and compare notes by now.
But this is also a conversation that can be had later and include Chanor.
And Snipps is just take the box with seeds from what's it called?
Josepha?
Yeah, from Josepha, and just handing it to Quillz. Where do you keep this then? I don't think I have it in me to hold on to it. I'm sorry, but I'm really not.
I've got it, Quills. I called you Quills. Nope, wrong character.
That's okay, Snipps.
It's okay,
Need a hot
Snipps.
chocolate.
No. It's okay, Snips. I'll hold on to it. I'll be guardian of the keys.
And also, don't. I know that you probably didn't notice at the time, but don't worry about trying to figure out where her Ave's spellbook ended up. Leto picked it up when he when she died. Like he grabbed it.
I was wondering about that because I didn't see it amongst her belongings, but that's good to hear.
Yeah. No, he knows not to leave them floating around, given that they're his packed objects. So he'll take care of those if anything else goes weird.
Question. This is Elle speaking. Question. Yeah. Are we going to get to the reading of Ave's will?
You guys want to? Oh, I was just gonna have that. I mean, we should tell for the audience. I actually was just in my head. I'm like, you guys know what's going on with that. This is fine. We can just keep going.
The audience has no clue.
We're about to take a break, but I will do that before we do that. But do you guys have anything else in this conversation you want to wrap up beforehand?
Not really from my part. The two things I wanted to do was get a look at whatever that little metal thing was, and B, ask if Josepha had any idea or things she could provide with in terms of medical supplies or maybe potions of healing or something like that.
Gotcha. She doesn't have a lot of healing stuff. She hasn't really dealt in much medicine.
Makes sense.
Like most of everything, she has some of the adventurer gear that like has been inherited over time and that she's like tweaked with for experimental purposes, and she has a lot of stuff that like helps people do jobs. The stuff for the clinic has mostly been like things that clean the beds in a prestidigitation style so they can just like reset the space for a new patient without having to worry about infections getting lingering or anything like that. A lot of cleaning stuff, a lot of like moving things from place to place, stuff to keep if you need to do fine tune things. Like it's all functional things more so than the actual healing process things.
So basically a magical general store clerk.
A bit, yeah. But yeah, and it's mostly this is because of the fact that I know this is in the document but for the viewers, magical healing potions, those types of things give you temporary hit points, and those will like expire after a certain point. So if you don't actually get patched up at a hospital by an actual medical procedure, like if you have a gash or a broken arm, like you can't just magic that away. You can magic it, so it's not a problem in the moment, but after a bit, you still need to actually get it fixed physically. So that's why there's these splits in logic. But yeah. So she basically provides stuff to the clinic to give them the better odds at doing those types of procedures. Not much stuff for out in the field. But yeah. Okay. So at some point during all of the wake and like looking through Ave's stuff and like finding out where to send letters for family, you do come across a statement of intent for final will and testament type logic. The tavern and cauldron go to Snipps. All of the books that Snipps doesn't want go to Quillz. It does say as well as the spell book, but again, Leto snags that.
Mm-hmm.
The herbal garden will be split between Chanor and Snipps in terms of ownership. Obviously, we're not separating the garden into two chunks and moving it around.
Of course not.
The cart and all its dealings go to Chanor. 50% of her personal funds go to Joaquin. Her possessions, clothes, and such are to be donated. Her personal journal and other 50% of funds go to her family, so you can send that along when you're sending the letter, essentially.
Yeah.
She leaves a book of failed, like terrible recipes that did not work well to Amelia to be given anonymously, which was fucking perfect. Amelia is her competing tavern owner audience.
The chalk incident.
Decision of Grandma. Oh, that's nope. That's not for public announcement yet. And forgot to mention we did get an addendum. About an hour ago, actually. Forgot to mention one last thing. Ave's sourdough starter goes to Snipps, and her book of herbal notes that was collected by her grandma and dad is to be shared amongst all three of her companions. I don't know what's in that book, so you will have to discuss that with the player in the Discord when convenient, but apparently that might have some implications that I am currently not recalling or unaware of. But it is now 1 hour and 50 minutes into our 4-hour block, so we're going to take 15, 20? Sound about right? Get some food, do the bathroom, what have you, but that was a nice reflective process after all the chaos and losing some people and hopefully getting the characters some ability to stretch their emotions in the aftermath. Let's see how much more chaos can accidentally be triggered for the rest of today. See you folks in a bit.
Is that a challenge?
Like pixie form of round. How are we feeling, guys?
I am not feeling good.
Just fucking peachy.
Cool.
Did I take any damage from that real quick?
Oh, you took 14 damage. Thank you for reminding me.
So happy to help.
Never remind him.
Hey, did we have homework last night?
That was.
I'm not drowning.
That was,
I am sleeping so good.
that was kind of the. That was kind of the energy that got tossed out. Probably the least liked. Things that smelled awful, ratty mud off the street, and Onolove explained it as if you give even the worst thing a chance to be better, there's a good chance it might happen.
And her head shoots up. She looks at Yvette. And she looks at Sid, assuming that they're in generally the same eyesight area.
Usually.
And she says, Yvette, would you like to run an experiment with me?
God. And they're right back in. That's all you needed to say. Irreparable friendship, who?
Centaur experiment. They slam that notebook closed, walk away from Camden, go right up to Lyra and like, yes.
Together forever, we're Yvette and Lyra, best friends.
God, I hate how accurate that is.
I mean, there's people. There's not like a lot of people, but people.
Oh, I didn't know. I assumed we were the only 4 in the shop, so that's my mistake.
Well, I mean, his shop is kind of like an outdoor stall. Like, again, he's literally like that guy from the opening from Aladdin, where it's like... It's
no! The face!
My
I want
mistake.
that. I want that face as our new group
Please
chat.
no. Please no.
It's happening.
Seriously mean. For fuck's sake.
My
Something-
grandfather loves boxed wine, so maybe this is actually a good thing.
What's up, Azanar?
Something that is at least older than 15 years.
In a box?
In a box.
Do boxes live that long?
No, absolutely not.
I just
This
enjoy the phrase these
conversation.
boxes live that long.
This conversation.
Emphasis on live.
This is how I die, folks. Goodbye.
Sid gets a sending message and just hears in their mind.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Here's Mama, I haven't failed you yet. Much improved. Where the hell have you been? Miss you. Fuck 'em up.
I will say you don't get that message.
What?
What?
You're not playing that character right now. You don't know what's going on. Sid, you have a nice
Okay.
daydream about a message from Maybe.
Oof.
Vinny. Ow.
Vincent, the fuck?
As halflings, we can run through large creatures. I'm going to run between its legs and try to get his attention over here and say, hey, you're going to stop that now.
His head does turn towards you, and the eyes light up again to blast, but as you come around and confront it in that way, there is a delay in the moment, and it gives Ave a moment to act before that fires off.
I really want, like, pixie form of, like, Eldritch Blast.
That's not me, though.
All right, Mickey Mouse. Because I'm not sure I understand.
Is she acting good because she thinks acting good is going to keep everybody together, or is she just acting good because she got it all out of her system the night before?
She got most of it out of her system, so she's mellowed out.
Okay, that's all I was
for
asking.
now.
Mellowette? Like just a little mellow? A small mellow?
She's
You
mellowed
had to see that coming.
I'm hanging up now.
Hi, Mel.
This is only slightly horrifying. It's also really fucking cool, and I want to know how they did this because I want to write all my notes like this.
I've missed you.
I missed you too. Do you think it's a spell? Or do you think it's a special kind of thing?
I don't know. Or perhaps this is pence, right?
Yeah.
So do you think the other ones are all writing their
Cool. So Kind immediately locks eyes on Yvette and like starts swinging a hand back to start casting some shit.
Nope.
That
No.
also gets fucking
No,
right.
no.
Bells is gonna jump in between.
Wizard duel. Anyways.
No, this is the real one.
She
This
just
one's
saved
my
it.
fiance.
They just saved you. They just saved you.
I just healed your ass. I'll take it back.
All right.
Bells is
It's
fluttering
just
in the air in
freeze up.
between Kind and Yvette.
Okay. She kind of just processes for a second and she just goes, "This ass is reserved. Thank you very much," and just gets up and starts dusting herself off.
5e monk class things just by typing in crazy gun monk in Google.
That sounds
surprising.
That sounds super correct. Yeah, Kensai
Yeah,
monks with
technically-
guns are really.
Technically speaking, thanks to Tasha's, gun monk can officially be a thing.
It is. I made a bunch. It was
Oh my
great.
God.
It was really fun.
I hate this.
Oh, they were great.
Next to Arc, Crazy Gun Monks. Party
Yes.
name.
Yeah, sure. I'll recommend that to the Dark Arc people. Alright.
I
Do you guys want to go get tattoos?
fuck this.
Yes, tattoos.
I would like a
maybe
tattoo, Papa.
Stab me, daddy.
You didn't like that, Connie? I mean, Mel.
I got worse. It got worse when
When Nova talked?
Yes.
Yeah, I do that. I'm sorry.
And maybe you guys are able to stealth around in the zoo. The animals are helping you. They don't know what you're doing, but they like go in front of you when the time is right.
Help.
Missy is very noticeable. I would say Missy probably does not help. but like there's a giant elk who's just like standing there, takes 2 steps forward to block your view, to block the view for a second, 2 steps back. So yeah, you guys are able to spy as these two go around and check out like all the animals. That was creepy.
It's the makeup.
Where are you choosing to place yourself at the table when you approach? No.
I do love the face that we got for this one, though.
We had such good progress for a couple of
It
minutes.
was very good. Oh, that's the end
This
of the
is such a
session.
great.
No.
This is such a great photo. I want to capture this.
Take a screen.
All right.
Flavor text.
Sure.
I smile at them, and my smile does that creepy little curly cue, and it's just a row of teeth that are just all purple and green and just sinewy and just ugh, and it's terrible. Like bone, kind of thing. So, but like all curly cuey and everything.
Insane.
This is your monthly reminder to never fuck with Lyra. Put it back, put it back, put it back, put it back!
I put it back!
I mean, when you take it out because you are strong, you feel like whatever it was attached to on the inside it snaps away from. So like it's like pulling out a weed. So like you can put it back on top, but it's just gonna sit there. It's not gonna be in the ground again, so to speak.
We definitely just killed this guy. Like killed this guy. Oh fuck.
Didn't we? I just talked to you guys.
Yes, darling, catch up.
Funny
Good.
It's funny as shit.
It hurts now.
Yeah, full stress to full laughter does that.
I'm gonna mute now. I'll be right back.
You go to your thing.
It doesn't matter. You've been gone for 6 months and you didn't say a word.
That's not that long.
At this
I'm
mo-
sorry, you up and left your partner for 6 months without a single word? Do you have any idea how often I try to talk to my girlfriend because I can't see her that often?
Friend?
Like, what the fuck is your problem?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
At this time,
it?
Bells and
Friends?
Bara appear as well.
My name's Kent. It is not my pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
The crying.
Smoke inhalation.
And she smoke inhalation, and she
That's amazing.
Because I'm not sure I understand.
Is she acting good because she thinks acting good is going to keep everybody together, or is she just acting good because she got it all out of her system the night before?
She got most of it out of her system, so she's mellowed out.
Okay, that's all I was
for
asking.
now.
Mellowette? Like just a little mellow? A small mellow?
She's
You
mellowed.
had to see that coming.
I'm hanging up now.
Hi, Mel.
Round. How are we feeling, guys?
I am
Not
not
great,
feeling
not great.
good.
Just fucking peachy.
Cool.
Did I take any damage from that real quick?
Oh, you took 14 damage. Thank you for reminding me.
So happy to help.
Never remind him.
Hey, did we have homework last night?
That was
I'm not drowning.
that was
I am sleeping so good.
that was kind of the
Having a nice time.
that was kind of the energy that got tossed out.
My
Something-
grandfather loves boxed wine, so maybe this is actually a good thing.
What's up, Azanar?
Something that is at least older than 15 years.
In a box?
Box.
Do boxes live that long?
Absolutely not.
I just
This
enjoy the phrase these
conversation.
boxes live that long.
This
Emphasis
conversation.
on live.
This is how I die, folks. Goodbye. Probably the least liked. Things that smelled awful, ratty mud off the street, and Onolove explained it as if you give even the worst thing a chance to be better, there's a good chance it might happen.
Flavor next.
Sure.
I smile at them, and my smile does that creepy little curly cue, and it's just a row of teeth that are just all purple and green and just sinewy and just ugh, and it's terrible. Like bone, you know, kind of thing. So, but like all curly cuey and everything.
Insane.
This is your monthly reminder to never fuck with Lyra.
I mean, there's people. But there's not like a lot of people, but people.
Oh, I didn't know. I assumed we were the only 4 in the shop, so that's my mistake.
Well, I mean, his shop is kind of like an outdoor stall. Like again, he's literally like that guy from the opening from Aladdin, where it's like it's
Mel, the face.
My
I want
mistake.
I want that face as our new group chat.
Please no. Please no.
It's happening.
Seriously, me. For fuck. No.
Funny
You're good.
It's funny as
It
shit.
hurts now.
Yeah, full stress to full laughter does that.
I'm gonna mute now. I'll be right back.
You go to your thing.
As halflings, we can run through large creatures. I'm going to run between its legs and try to get his attention over here and say, "Hey, you're gonna stop that now."
Its head does turn towards you, and the eyes light up again to blast, but as you come around and confront it in that way, there is a delay in the moment, and it gives Ave a moment to act before that fires off.
Cool. So Kind immediately locks eyes on Yvette and like starts swinging a hand back to start casting some shit.
Nope.
That also gets fucking
No.
Bells is gonna jump in between.
Wizard duel. Anyways.
No, this is the real one.
She
This
just
one's
saved
my
it.
fiance.
They just saved you. They just saved you.
I just healed your ass. I'll take it back.
All right.
Bells is fluttering in the air in
freeze up.
between Kind and Yvette.
Okay. She kind of just processes for a second and she just goes, "This ass is reserved. Thank you very much," and just gets up and starts dusting herself off.
Where are you choosing to place yourself at the table when you approach? No.
I do love the face that we got for this one, though.
We had such good progress for a couple of
It
minutes.
was very good. Oh, that's the end
This
of the
is such a
session.
great.
No.
This is such a great photo. I want to capture that.
Take a screen.
All right.
Didn't we? I just talked to you guys.
Yes, darling, catch up.
5e monk class things just by typing in crazy gun monk in Google.
That sounds
surprising.
That sounds super correct. Yeah, Kensai
Yeah,
monks with
technically-
guns are really.
Technically speaking, thanks to Tasha's, gun monk can officially be a thing.
It is. I made a bunch. It was
Oh
great.
my God.
It was really fun.
I hate this.
Oh, they were great.
Next to Arc, Crazy Gun Monks. Party
Yes.
name.
Yeah, sure. I'll recommend that to the Dark Arc people. Alright.
I
Do you guys want to go get tattoos?
fuck this.
Yes, tattoos.
I would like a tattoo, Papa.
Stab me, daddy.
You didn't like that, Connie? I mean, Mel.
I got worse. It got worse when
When Nova talked?
yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I'm sorry.
Put it back, put it back, put it back, put it back.
I put it back.
I mean, when you take it out because you are strong, you feel like whatever it was attached to on the inside it snaps away from. So like it's like pulling out a weed. So like you can put it back on top, but it's just gonna sit there. It's not gonna be in the ground again, so to speak.
We definitely just killed this guy. Like killed this guy. Oh fuck.
And her head shoots up. She looks at Yvette. And she looks at Sid, assuming that they're in generally the same eyesight area.
Usually.
And she
Usually.
says, Yvette, would you like to run an experiment with me?
God. And they're right back in. That's all you needed to say. Irreparable friendship, who?
Centaur experiment.
They slam that notebook closed, walk away from Camden, go right up to Lyra and like, yes.
Together forever, we're Yvette and Lyra, best friends.
God, I hate how accurate that is.
And maybe you guys are able to stealth around in the zoo. The animals are helping you. They don't know what you're doing, but they like go in front of you when the time is right.
Help.
Missy is very noticeable. I would say Missy probably does not help. But like there's a giant elk who's just like standing there, takes 2 steps forward to block your view, to block the view for a second, 2 steps back. So yeah, you guys are able to spy as these two go around and, you know, check out like all the animals. That was creepy.
It's the makeup.
It doesn't matter. You've been gone for 6 months and you didn't say a word.
That's not that long.
I'm sorry, you up and left your partner for 6 months without a single word? Do you have any idea how often I try to talk to my girlfriend because I can't see her that often?
Friend?
What the fuck is your problem?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
At this time, Bells and Bara appear as well.
My name's Kend. It is not my pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
The crying.
Smoke inhalation.
And she smoke inhalation. And she
That's amazing. I really want like pixie form of like Eldritch Blast.
That's not me, though.
All right, Mickey Mouse.
Sid gets a sending message and just hears in their minds.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Here's,
Oh, fuck.
Here's, Mama, I haven't failed you yet. Much improved. Where the hell have you been? Miss you. Fuck him up.
I will say you don't get that message.
What?
What?
You're not playing that character right now. You don't know what's going on. Sid, you have a nice daydream about a message from Maybe.
Oof.
Vinny. Ow.
Vincent, the fuck?
This is only slightly horrifying. It's also really fucking cool, and I want to know how they did this because I want to write all my notes like this.
I've missed you.
I missed you too. Do you think it's a spell? Or do you think it's a special kind of thing?
I don't know. Or perhaps this is pence, right?
Yeah.
So do you think the other ones are all writing there? It doesn't matter. You've been gone for 6 months and you didn't say a word.
That's not that long.
I'm sorry, you up and left your partner for 6 months without a single word? Do you have any idea how often I try to talk to my girlfriend because I can't see her that often?
Friend?
What the fuck is your problem?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
At this time, Bells and Bara. And we're back.
Hey, good to see you again. Welcome back, folks. So we've had a little break, had some time to decompress. I did just inform the players that they have a power increase. What I have not told them yet is at the end of this session, or between this session and the next session, you guys also are going to move up a level. So you have hit, gone from level 6 to level 7. Granted, my leveling is all warped and strange anyway, but like, all that happens as its own thing. But this is also why I don't like running games that stop in between long rests. I like having them end at long rests. This is throwing off my whole flow, but it's cool. Anyway, So, we've gotten some mourning out of our systems. We've gotten some information and perspective, potentially. We have
Into
some
our
objects and some objects added, some things learned. And now it is time to figure out what people would like to do next towards addressing the Blight. Or if you intend to continue on that path at all.
So yeah, we had 3 options.
Three other leads, yep.
Them saying sound from the cemetery, light on the lake, attacks on the road. And we think we solved some of the problems of the attacks, but there are things that aren't humanoid that are attacking, I assume, as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't...
Yes.
So we solved the humanoid problem, kind of, but probably not the monster related, creature related.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go ahead and presume that at some point you guys would have done more asking around, but yeah, you basically, through the rumors, there's definitely been some stories of attacks on the road, and what the people were doing was more ambushes and not really hurting many people in the process. So, yeah, it probably is a connected but not source problem, unless the attacks on the road got hyperbolically inflated, which is its own concept that is possible, but that is not something you have pinned down for sure.
So, if the attacks on the road we kinda sorta dealt with, but not really, what about the other 2 things? I mean, Quillz, you went down to the docks again, didn't you? Were they
Yes.
saying anything about the strange glowing things in the lake again? So
There've
the
been
crime?
more sightings. Nothing new has happened. It's same thing being sighted by multiple people, multiple ships. But nothing additional has been seen, so that's a plus. But they're saying, if I remember correctly, they're saying that it's on the opposite shore. So we would need we need either a way to go around or go across. If we were
so
to
you guys would know the docks themselves are on the river, and then across the river there's another patch of land before there's a lake, and it's on the far side of the lake that this is happening on.
Regardless, we're going to need access to a boat. I have friends, but usually they're my drinking buddies.
I personally don't want to go to the cemetery for a bit after our last visit. So I kind of also
like it is then.
Like that's alright.
Like it is. Yeah, I guess I can share my friends with y'all, that's fine.
I mean, we can all try to ride Gauze over. Gauze is a giant goat, could probably carry all 3 of us. Don't know if she'll sink.
I
It's
don't
like,
know
is she a
how
witch? Will she sink or swim?
I don't know how good goats are at swimming. That's probably more like your forte.
How
Yeah,
good
goat
are goats
king.
at swimming? They're great
Goats are okay
swimmers.
at swimming.
They're great swimmers, and have been known to swim long distances, and even across seas to populate on close neighboring islands. Holy crap!
Yeah, no, they can.
Are we just gonna swim on gods?
We can.
It's an option.
We can hang with your drinking buddies. I'm down with that. That's just some fun new things that I didn't know that I got to learn today.
Yeah, we can hang my drinking buddies and swim on gods.
Well, we should see. I mean, if they're working, they may not want to, but if they have a day off, and should we assume we got paid like half pay this week? We're all mourning in some ways. I don't know if we all earned a full week of pay, or how that worked.
If you are taking some days off, that's totally a thing. Use your own discretion. But yeah, it's been another week, so you get the same 1/4 of your starting pay again.
So,
the
If you have
tavern
additional
would
to
have
make.
the tavern would have been closed for at least 1 day for the morning ceremony.
Yes.
But apart from that, it would have been open just in normal business hours because that's what Ave would have wanted.
So at the moment, presume that half of what Ave would have is currently sitting with you needing to decide what to do with it, but otherwise everyone who works there would have gotten their normal pay, even with the one-day close, given that Ave wasn't there. So, but the ships would have had to been picked up otherwise.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Gotcha.
money still gets distributed around.
How much does Ave earn? Because
So,
I do not know that.
That's fine. At the moment, you two were, I believe, were making. Actually, I don't remember if this was augmented. I know you two technically were getting the same flat base pay for thing, and at some point we're going to look into what the but Ave's was tied more to the profit of the tavern.
Yeah.
You haven't
I'm
done
making
anything
20
to like
per month.
Yeah. So Ave's pay would decrease or increase based on like how downtime was spent towards marketing or talking shit about people in other bars. So that is now going to fall on you technically. Like if you make decisions that affect the way the town perceives you, it might affect your pay, but otherwise it's going to be the standard rate.
Okay, in that case, I'm just going to give myself my own pay, which is technically not just part of the profits, and whatever would have been her pay, I'm just going to put aside to be decided to at another date and probably between sessions because that's easier right now.
Absolutely.
Well, we might need to pay your friends for a ride if it's a working thing. But we could also see if they're down for a little boat cruise.
They might be down to take us out, but I highly doubt any of them would be wanting to go any closer to the lake than they need to.
Agreed, but lake
It might
connect to the river, so if all we need to do is get over the river to get to the lake, then we can try just using gauze and swimming. Do we know how fast this river is? Is it like rushing rapids or like pretty calm stream?
No, you guys came in. All of you at some point came in on. Oh no, some of you were locals. You're all here a lot often enough. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's a fairly calm river. The boats that go upstream have to use a little bit of steam logic for moving, but otherwise, it is not something where there's a lot of choppiness or crazy waves or speed. I don't know what the correct terms are for water stuff. I'm sorry, folks.
That's fair. So we can try gauze for the river. Don't expect her to swim across the lake, but she could. But we're not going to make her do that.
We could just, once we cross the river, like walk on land until we're like at a certain point where we can just like use her to like stream across, like do like a walk and then like stream, instead of going straight across. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can see what's what. I think we'll leave the wagon behind this time. Maybe next add-on we'll be turning it into a boat of some sort.
Nice.
How many modes we can get it in?
I think that would be kind of limited in use.
You'll ever seen
Unless
Shitty Shitty Bang Bang? We're just gonna turn the wagon into that car.
I was thinking Diddy Kong Racing, where they just had weird vehicles. But yeah. Would Gauze be able to carry all three of us, or at least two of us? Technically,
not carry.
large.
You could at least like hold on to as like a living buoy essentially, and be pulled across that way is at least an option.
Before we go, Snipps would ask Chanor if he has any either spare medical supplies, just some bandages or something like that, that he, Snipps, could carry on his person.
That's slightly a DM question. How much did we like lose? Assuming a lot, because we were trying to help the people for a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming the cart got emptied out, but you did go to work this week, so if you got back, if you weren't trying to restock the cart, but you were just trying to restock yourself, then you definitely could have some basic things on you.
Okay, so I'll split what I have on you, which is like the normal stuff I use for when I have to do medicine on people anyways, so I can give you some of my stuff. Oh, also, I do know it's not as good as actual physical mending, but I do have some healing spells that I think would benefit all of us to know at some point, considering.
So copying at one point, that would be good.
We have a
I
jam.
would very much like that.
A study sesh at the library.
Hey,
Sounds like a great idea.
sounds like a time of my life.
If not, I'll just make sure to keep you guys going. You guys just gotta be in the front. I really don't ever want to see anyone in the front lines again, but that's fine.
Maybe we can get this creepy little, I don't know, this creepy little puppet thingy to show up and share some things of Avi's spellbook.
Oh, Lito?
Lito's not creepy.
Oh,
Lito's
yeah,
adorable.
And just off to the room. I don't mean anything by it, but you're kind of creeping me out. Sorry.
I'm just gonna yell out, Lito, are you here?
You do roll me a perception check.
17 minus 1, 16.
Yeah, you like call out and you start looking around, and like in the shadows under a table, you see the two little sparks of his eyes light up, and then just kind of like trots out and like smiles in his odd way at you two, and kind of like flattens as he looks at Snipps now.
I slowly reach into my purse, pull out a gold piece. Would you be willing to trade with us for access to Ave's spellbook?
You could have an hour with it. Oh wait, no. How long does it take to copy a spell?
I think it's an hour
that depends on the spell.
Okay, you could have a day with it.
And Vinny doesn't remember what Ave had. Check our group.
Are we we're not copying the spells now. We're gonna do that later. Aren't we?
No, probably.
I give him 1/10 of a gold, because that's how we have to do it. Thanks for coming, Lito. Yes. Did you come to the funeral? To the wake? Were you able to say your goodbyes? Thank you. I appreciate it.
I said goodbye when I picked up the book, but yes, I came to the wake too.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad you were able to make it. Not that it was a good time. It was a sad time, but I'm still glad you were there.
It was a time.
Lito's like, it was a great time now. I got a spell book.
Yeah, he eats the whatever cash you give him, just opens his mouth like a trash can again. It just drops in.
Done.
I just give it to him because I like him. It's fine.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm looking at Ave's spells right now.
We can worry about that later.
I know we can worry about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's something out of session, because
it is.
Today's definitely planning what the next step is, and then we'll between now and then you guys will do the level up. You can do what spells you're copying, and we'll make that the downtime of like preparing for what you're doing. Right now it's just planning what you're doing.
Cool.
Okay, so we go to like now, or are we doing that tomorrow?
We have the day off, I assume. We can go now.
We can go now?
Yeah. Just let's go now, but also maybe at least try to be careful.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose anyone else.
We're at the. We're just to clarify location. Are we at the tavern right now, or are we at?
I would imagine we are either at the tavern or at the library. Just somewhere somewhat secluded that not everybody is able to listen into it.
The clinic doesn't,
unless we're trying.
Clinic doesn't feel like a great place to just have casual conversations,
especially about death.
I was gonna say, I was like, if we're at the tavern, Quillz is gonna grab some rolls and just stick them in her purse just to have one. But if we're not at the tavern, she can't do that.
Snipps is going to just give you some. Basically, here, have the whatever the roll equivalent of pocket bacon is.
Okay.
Also have some pocket bacon.
Okay.
I'll summon Gauze. For the moment, I'm gonna dismiss Band-Aid, so we don't have an extra pair of legs that we gotta like get over water. And I'll bring Band-Aid back out later. And get on top of Gauze. That's gonna be such a chore. Gauze, can you take a knee? Come down.
Who are you loyal to, really?
Laboriously climb up the side of my giant goddamn boat. Guess we can all head on.
That's a sight to behold.
Yeah, the town's probably confused.
That's okay. Let them be confused. It adds a little bit of spice into their life.
Yeah. Do we want to try cutting through the farm? Or, like, go to the bottom of the farm?
I mean, that's probably the quickest route, unless we want to go to the docks, and ask for someone who
Are we gonna talk to my
do
friend?
things.
If we want.
That would be.
Yeah, it's just like if they want us to pay, I don't know, for to ride, especially if they're working today. Like, I don't know. We can try it, see what happens.
I could try something. I'm willing to pay for a ride if we can.
Plus, it'd be great to meet your other friends, Quillz.
Question, Griff.
Yeah.
The river docks are to the north of the lake. So if we can just...
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so when you say that the light is on the far side of the lake, is that on the east side of the lake?
Yes.
So all we have to do is go to the docks, cross over the river, and then just go south and we'll be there.
Yeah, basically.
Ish.
Ish.
I mean,
So
that's also a plan.
if we're using gauze, if we're gonna use gauze to cross the river, we don't need to like buy a ride from somebody.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like we can go to the docks and ask them for like a ride down or a way to go across the river. I don't remember how big this river is comparatively by looking at this map. But if we're trying to just get to the other side of the river, we might need like a lift to that side, just for safety reasons. I don't know if we need to go to the docks, but we can go to the docks to meet your friends, and then we can figure things out from there.
Yeah, because if we just go to the docks, we just cross the river, and then we go south, and we're at the side of the river. I'm sorry, side of the lake that has the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We ride gauze to the docks.
Yeah, the river is about 450 feet across, so not crazy, but, you know, a little bit of a drag.
Yeah, so Gauze could probably do it, but with 3 people on top of her, if we can get a ride. I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. Okay. Have either Chanor or Snipps gone to the docks before?
Snipps. Snipps has gone to the docks, and also pretty regularly, just to get fresh food.
Like seafood?
Yeah, fresh seafood for the tavern, and also was there to ask around about the lights on there in the first place. And I think it was the second session we had.
Sounds right.
With Chanor also going there later in the day.
Yeah, I went that one time to help you because I was going to do that, but I have not consistently gone there. Fashion, you Snipps have definitely been more than me, and then Quillz has probably been there more than both of us.
Definitely seems to be the case.
Yeah, she just goes to drink with her friends. That's what's happened. Okay, so
I will say that at this point, like every time you go, they're like, after about 4 drinks, they're just like, tell us another story, because a lot of them have like questionable reading comprehension. So, like, the fact that you have all these stories that you've read, they're like, just tell it to us.
You've actually never even been on the river or on a boat itself. You're just there to drink. Nice.
Yeah, she's just there to drink, and judging by their book, the type of books they like to read, she tells them the romantic ones, and some of them are relatively raunchy.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
So y'all have gone to the docks before, but y'all have never gone to the pub or tavern thing that they have there.
Yeah, because it's not a public tavern. It's something that you tripped over that was just like the private, like fishing lodge, essentially, so that they were just like, oh, yeah, you were asking around. They're like, no, come drink with us. You seem awesome. So now you're an unofficial member.
I'm an unofficial. So I'm assuming Quillz is leading the way then. She's heading towards the fishing lodge. And I don't know if Snipps or Chanor are like confused as to why she's heading towards the lodge or not. But she's just walking on like she owns the place.
It's very much like you walk in and they're like, Quillz!
The one place she's an extrovert.
Snipps is just completely flabbergasted. The Quillz he knows is always very contained, very trying to do the right thing, trying to say the right thing, but also very reserved. Who is this person and what has she done with Quillz?
Quillz is just gonna look at Snipps and she's gonna be like, these are cool people. They're my friends. We like to drink and tell stories.
Well,
and she's just got
apparently that's what you do. You drink and you know things.
I do. The shirt says so. You can't tell, but the shirt says so. There it is, and I know things.
Nice.
I came
so
here.
You show up, and I don't think I ever gave any of these people names, and I really still don't feel the need to. But yeah, you kind of sit down with a few of the people you've really locked in with, and they're just like, "Oh, I heard about your friends. So it's awful, and we didn't find out in time to go to the wake and pay respects, but none of us really dealt with her very much. So I don't think we'd ever been to eat at some place that fancy. But sorry that you lost your friend."
Hey, your condolences are very much appreciated, regardless of when you give them. Snipps and Chanor, these are my unnamed friends.
Hey, I think you helped reset my kid's bone.
The first time or the second time?
The second time.
I'm sorry about the first time. I just didn't know then.
Hey, could have taught him to stop climbing up on things that he shouldn't be up on. But hey, I learned after the second one, it turned out.
There you go. Hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, still a little bit of a limp, but it's his own damn fault. What brings you folks around? You're around? You want around? And it's like, no, I asked what brought them around. Oh. They're gonna buy around?
I got it. I'll grab us around.
I was just going to say, Snipps is just putting a gold on the table. How much would it cost me to buy a round for everyone?
3 golds?
Done.
I bought it around the first time I came in here.
Chanor kind of like states it, and Snipps is like, yeah, I got it. And then he's just like, yeah! The whole room lights up for a second.
To be fair, I would just randomly spend the money. I just don't have the amount to really just willy-nilly do it.
I do. Don't worry about it.
I just do it sometimes, but I really shouldn't. So I'm like, thanks. Appreciate it.
These are Quill's friends. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have very much.
They are Quill's friends, yes. Gravity Charger.
And they take to you very quickly. It turns out that these people are very easily won over by a purchase of a round in this context. So you've gotten yourself a decent amount of goodwill.
The one social skill Snipps has, getting people drunk.
These are simple
Do
people.
you have any
Nice salt of the
sea
earth types.
shanties? Or river shanties?
Absolutely. What then occurs after a few minutes of instrumental? A couple of them start going into the pacing of a story of a shanty, and you quickly, Quillz, realize that they've taken one of your stories and shrunk it down into sea shanty form.
Quillz is just so happy. you guys did it. Oh, now you
we
guys
haven't had to do songs in forever. Your stories make great material.
Hey, next time I come, I'll tell more stories. But we had to come on business today.
Kind of.
What kind of fish?
The kind that just gets us across the river. If any of you are heading across the river anytime soon.
No, you just need to ride across. Yeah, no, that's there's 8 ships a day that go across, or at least could pause over. And most of them, they're once they leave the dock, they kind of skirt zigzagging around. There's a few mounds they have to miss, so being on the opposite bank is pretty easy.
Yeah, we just need to ride across. A possible ride back, but if they go across if the 8 ships go across a day, we should possibly. Do you think we'd be able to get one back, or should we just use gauze coming back?
Yeah, no, there's some what do they call them? There's also a couple of small docks that the fishermen will use. They'll take a little ferry over and then park it there, and then lug the rowboat across to the actual lake if they're doing that.
That's
but
nice.
It's been a while. But that dock, you'll be able to. There's a light you can set, and it kind of lets people know that you're looking to get back across.
Oh, I never knew it worked like that. That's lovely.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not a really public thing. It's really just it's kind of lodge info. So
I'll keep it on the down low. I'm not going to share it.
Yeah,
I'd never do that.
This is just kind of favors we do for each other. It's not really a service we provide. So yeah, it's fine.
Chanor goes from writing this down to Quillz being we're not going to share it, and just closes his book.
Good touch.
Yeah. So, are any of y'all heading across the river today, or should I just head down the dock some more?
No, I mean.
We.
Hey, you back there? You just came across and you gotta go back. You're doing a thing. And after some shouts and murmurs, oh, it wasn't me, it was him. And after about 10 minutes of drunken shouting across into, you do eventually get connected with somebody who's I'm getting about 2 hours. If you guys want to go today, it's getting a little late, but or we're getting into the afternoon. But yeah, no, we could totally make that work. But yeah, we go twice a day. There's aside from fishing on the river, and that being a good place to park just to do that, and fishing in the lake for the same reason. There's also good frog catching and some catfish huts holes that you can give it the murky stuff on the edges that aren't in the lake itself, where you can pull those suckers out.
Again, not going to share your frog holes or your catfish holes, but that's just fun information.
Yeah. We got lots of tricks, lots of different options. There's also some crab huts. We can get some traps laid out over there in the swampy areas. So yeah, there's plenty of reason for us to be back and forth a couple times a day. It's pretty easy to sync up with us. And if they say you're good, you're good.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's nice to know.
They're good.
Chanor?
Yeah. Question, guys. Have you been stomping around on the ground over there? Have you have you walked around over there as well, or is it just near the coast itself? But
I mean, no, we probably within maybe half a mile.
And I point back to my giant goat. Would she be able to walk around over there okay, or is it too boggy, or is it?
I wouldn't recommend something with sharp hooves like your friend there out there walking around in the boggy parts, but there's plenty of non-boggy parts. There's a lot of stable ground over there. There's just 2 or 3 patches between the lake and the river. There's like a couple spots over there on the north end that are really good for like, but it's squishy ground.
Gotcha. Thank you. Don't want her to hurt herself.
Oh no, that was a smart question.
Also, question for the DM.
Hi.
Your food rules state that if we spend extra money than just the usual upkeep for food and drink, we could gain benefits from that.
Oh yes, and there's an entire menu that with there's a thing that lists the specific benefits for the food.
Yeah, there is. Orders from this menu increase max HP by level times con times gold spent until long rest.
Correct.
It says taverns, but it also has some thing called Seco on here, a hard alcohol made from sugarcane. Would we be able to get something like that in this place?
Oh yeah, no. This. I mean, it's not one of the downtown taverns, but like you would be able to get an equivalent version of a lot of the same things on the list here.
Okay,
it's just going to be a lot more seafood and a lot more like moonshine instead of rum, Pruno instead of wine, like that kind of thing.
Okay, in that case, I would very much like to just get some food for us on the way. Just for on the way. Probably some fajita empanadas. Just because that seems something you could also maybe hold without it having to be a sort of plate that has to be served on.
Yeah, no, the equivalent here is going to be something closer to like rice balls stuffed with fish, or mushrooms and that kind of thing. But yeah, same logic.
That
Okay.
sounds so good.
Yeah. I'm going to just buy 2 portions of that for each of those.
We won't need to know what the math is on that right now, but if there's any confusion, we
it's
can sort it out for our next
0.2
session.
gold per thing, so 1.2 gold total.
Cool.
So we have some walking around food as we take a ferry over?
Basically.
Yeah.
It's a South American meat pie.
Well fed.
Level by con by gold spent. 7.
It must be on the public one instead of the private one. I did a bad job of keeping my private notes and my updates to the public notes synchronized.
But the thing it says here is that orders from this menu increase max HP by level times con times gold spent until long rest. 1 food and 1 drink limit per use.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can buy 2 and then like eat 1 today, and if you have to long rest on the other side of the thing, you could do the next day.
Yeah, that was my train of thought there.
Yeah.
So,
so
level by
1.2.
con.
Yeah, so if you're level 7 and you multiply your con roll or your con stat by that, and then multiply that by 1.2 and rounds up the closest hit point.
So 7 by 3 by 1.2. Is 25. I got 25.2. Did I do the math wrong?
It should be 7 times what's your con?
I'd have to get out of the stream to do that information. So
I mean, I can just do it for you if you tell me your con modifier.
3.
That's what they're saying. Yeah, okay, so 3. So 21, and 21 times 1.2, so
4.2.
20 is 20. Wait.
4.2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, is it plus? Hold on. Wait.
No,
It's
just
level times
7
con.
times 3 is 21 times 0.2 or divided by 1/5.
Oh, I did it times 1.2. Okay, hold on. That makes much more sense because I was like, I gotta keep getting 25. There we go. There we
No,
go.
it's not that good, sadly.
4.2. There we go. There we go. Okay. Thank you for that. I get it now. I get it now. I was doing the total gold, not the individual gold. We're good.
I get 1 whole health.
You have a con of +1?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh. I get.
So
You said round. I get 4.
So it's
I got 3.
1 times 7
Wait.
times 0.2, correct? Or 1.2?
Yes.
Hold on. Snipps, clarify how much you're spending on this food.
If I can just clarify how much I'm spending, I wait, no,
fajitas?
no, the fajita empanadas is
0.2.
0.2 gold per piece. So if I'm buying 6 of those, 2 for each of us, 1 for now and 1 for whatever we take the next long rest, it is your level 7 times your constitution modifier, which is in China's case 1, so 7, times 0.2.
Wait, so are you eating both of them right now?
We can't. 1 food and 1 drink limit per use.
That's what I was going to check. So that's what I'm saying, is that it's going to be 0.2 for each of you this time, and then if you do it again the next day, then it's another 0.2
Yeah,
multiplication.
exactly.
So it's 7 times 3 is 21, and then times 0.2.
20% of that is 4.
21 times 2.
But we've had a
So it's
long
5.
rest.
So
We're at. Oh, it would go to 5?
So it's 5 hit points, but yeah, it's going to be higher because so it's 7 hit points. Yeah, so it's going to be 5 hit points. You always round up.
Oh, round up.
Okay.
I was doing the math thing where you round
2.
it in years. I get 2.
Yeah, I was getting to a part where I'm like, timesing this by 4. It seems like a lot of hit points to have a boost on, but yeah, and it affects your max hit points, kind of like aid spell or that like hero's meal thing, where it's like that's your new top until your next long rest. So if you lose hit points, you can bump back up to that if you heal.
Cool.
And I have 44 hit points. Okay.
Alright.
41.
We're getting a ride. Or all of us is sitting on top of Gauze, who's on top of a boat.
Yes,
yeah, there's
please.
like a little raft that they basically like. It's just like a little raft, and they have a way to kind of like shove it across with one of those sticks. Because the river's not super deep, but the stick, the river's deep enough that the stick is probably 12 feet long. It's just yeah, they're getting it across.
Thank you so much for this, helping us get across this river. I really genuinely appreciate this.
Yeah, no.
Hey, next time I hit the lodge, your drink's on me.
Hey, appreciate that. Won't hold you to it in case you're speaking 2 drinks in, but if you remember, I'll definitely not say no.
Hey, if I don't remember, nudge me. Don't shout it because everyone's going to want some, but nudge me.
That's fair. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
Vinny.
I don't think this will change a lot, but just curiosity, if everyone got a drink from a round of drinks, does that count towards this level times con times gold thing?
You are correct, actually. So it's actually 0.3 is the multiplication.
Aha, so that's even better.
Well, it's probably not going to do much for me, but I'm just curious. 2.1, so...
3 hit points, look at that.
I'll take it.
7. Do we add that to our max hit points right now, so it's actually would be 51 out of 44?
Correct. Yeah.
See, I can do
that'll-
math sometimes. It's just under pressure, I can't.
You mean combat?
Pressure of any
Imagine
kind.
being able to
honestly.
do math.
So we get you guys across. They hook up to the little mini dock that's basically straight west of the lake, or to Lake Center. And as you look to the north, you see like all the swampy stuff, like the plants up there are just a little bit different. And as you look south, you see more stable ground and like normal bushes and trees and whatnot.
Good thing we're going south.
They show you how to handle the lighting mechanism, which you recognize immediately as being one of Josepha's little tricks. But yeah, you put that signal up. I mean, it's not something we monitor blatantly, but like we'll see it eventually. So just be patient. Someone will be by. Sometimes somebody might already be here. You can just wait for them. Just depends.
This is a total side note. We are Gatsby, and they are going to be Daisy. If you've ever read The Great Gatsby.
I think you should explain it. Just think.
Gatsby has a no, we're Daisy because Daisy has a green light on her dock, and they're Gatsby watching for us.
Yep.
But they're not going to be watching for us.
The library. Well, to be fair.
So
well,
then they're
Daisy
they're Nick, who never noticed the goddamn light the entire time.
Let's split the difference, and they're Nixby.
Nixby.
They notice sometimes.
It's better than Gatsby. That sounds like an orc name if I've ever heard one.
Yep. All right, hi ho, gauze away.
And they're heading south.
So again, what time are you guys doing this? Like, are you trying to get there while the sun's still out? Are you trying to get there around like sunset? Since most of the stories of seeing lights has come from like after dusk.
What time is dusk here?
Are
we going by like?
PM?
Do we need an exact time?
Yeah, it's like 7 to 8 p.m. is going to be like when the sun starts to set, and you could probably make out any weird like lighting situations.
So we should probably
It
head
won't be
out.
super dark yet at that point.
So we should probably head out. We should probably be heading out a little earlier than that, so that we can get closer to actually pinpoint a location.
So that we arrive maybe 5:30, 6-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're on that.
So the sun's still low on the west side at your backs, and you're just kind of like looking across at the big body of water. It's maybe another. I forgot how much I said. It's like a half mile in.
Half mile.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, and then like a mile north, you can see like in the distance all the bog and stuff. It's just like a flat plain for the most part, with that kind of like fog coming off it all. And then to the south, there's a little bit more hilly and textured and stuff. There's no real roads on this side. You can see some like wear in the grass where like tracks have come and gone, but like nothing like stable. No dirt roads, no obvious things. Just signs where people have traveled, but a lot of inconsistency.
Going off the beaten path, y'all.
Away.
So we're just trekking. We're just trekking.
Cool.
Right now. So.
Which direction do you want to head in? Are you going to head towards the lake? You're going to head around the lake to the south? Are you going to head up north into the... I'm guessing not the boggy part. You could navigate the boggy part. Like, there's definitely a visible difference between the sunken, weaker parts and, like, parts that people have clearly traversed over. But, like, obviously with the goat, there's always the gamble that you might step in a place that's weaker than it looks. So I don't know how you want to handle that.
I'd rather go safely to the south, because her being able to navigate easily is what's helping us navigate easily. Us in the bog is also really bad. So
that's fair. Little people squish.
Yeah. Let's stay
Pretty
up.
much.
Let's stay up on here.
So we're going south, and we're going toward south. Because if we go straight south, and then like a little to the east, if we go southeast direction, we'll reach approximately the area where the light is.
That is what accounts have claimed, yes. is that southeast corner of the lake. If you go around that way, we'll probably get there faster.
Cool.
Hi ho!
And once we're there, just kind of sort of at the base, at the edge of a lake, I'm going to. No, I'm going to summon Eugene, and just make him. Eugene's the little crab. I have, and just make him pop up on my shoulder, and just take him on my hand and put him on the ground next to Gauze and say, Eugene, can you take a look for us in that lake if you see something? And then just
sending him in.
send him away and into the lake. Eugene has a swim speed of 20 feet and also blind sight of 30 feet. So just the dimmer light and just general murkiness of water shouldn't be an issue. In theory, in practice, we'll see.
It's definitely murky water, but yeah, your crab should probably have no issue. I will say
Unless
if you
it's
went
get eaten.
southeast and got to the lake's edge itself, you've probably been traveling for about 2 hours. So the sun has gone down. You can see across there's a lot of mist coming off the lake also. It's not as thick as the fog that was coming out of the bogs, but like there's a lot of particles in the air, or texture in the air. The crab goes under and transmits back a lot of general sea life at first. After a few minutes, if you just have them going in a straight line away from you to like recon essentially, then are they going towards the corner or are they going towards center? That's important for me to know.
Wherever the closest in-water thing is, where the sightings of the little glowing crab thing have been happening.
I didn't quite understand that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you told us that the sightings of a crab have been along the east side of a lake, right?
Yes. But the crab thing was basically one person. Most people have just seen lights.
Oh, okay, gotcha. In that case, he would go down into just close to the center of a lake. And Snipps is not going to follow him the entire time, but from time to time just drop out and basically give a little update to the others. He can do that while seeing through Eugene's eyes, but he can't hear anything they're saying to him, so that's why he's going to drop out occasionally.
Okay.
And that is why he is not driving the goat.
Yes. Also because Snipps does not know how to drive a goat.
Quick math here. So what are you guys doing while the crab is going towards center? Are you guys just traveling along the southern edge? Are you like waiting to see lights? Like what is your current plan?
Is there anything we can hide behind?
I mean, there's maybe a couple big rocks around the southern edge of the lake that you could probably, being small, could easily tuck behind. If you go further away from the lake edge, there's going to be more bushes and stuff, but that'd be like an eighth of a mile, like pretty close, but not super close.
My vote is rocks. Also, will Gauze be able to fit behind them, or will she just blend in?
I mean, it's not going to be too weird to see yeah. Someone might see a goat and just be like, "That's a big goat." Anyway.
I'm also going to summon Band-Aid and then put Band-Aid on top of the rock. So then we got 2 goats, a goat family.
I can't. weird numbers back.
I
5,280 divided by 40.
I don't know what we.
32.
A lot of numbers.
6 seconds. Divided by times 6 for 6 seconds. No, each one of those actions is 6 seconds. Divide that by 10. For
0.6.
minutes. And all right, so it's going to take the crab a little over an hour to get into the center of the lake. But as you're so you guys are just kind of like camping out, waiting for lights, and seeing what the crab sensor comes back over the course of an hour. For the most part, you start getting pings back of like lots of other crabs. Hey, look, some squids. Oh, there's a whole bunch of weird shit down here. And then like that casual weird shit suddenly goes, there's some really big things down here. And as it continues to go, the big things are now glowy big things. And yeah, there's just a lack of definition. Like you can't really make out a lot of the details, but like large shadows or like large glowing things are like moving one way to another. Large for a crab, large for you guys, but like by scale, these things are probably about the size of shark.
But definitely living matter and not just constructs in the ground. Okay, so living, glowing things.
Yeah, and some of them, like there was some of the glowy things are just jellyfish, from what you can tell by the way they move. Sometimes it looks maybe a different thing that's glowy. It's hard to get a detailed sense, but you're like getting these updates as time moves on. What you do also see, so one thing you note is that the glowing that you're seeing under the water is a different color than the glowing you start to see over the water. You do eventually, after the sun's completely down, start to see like these bluish greenish, like they're not flames, but they have that sort of like shape of them in the distance through the mist. And there's just like these little kicks of light that go up in different patterns. And then eventually you notice one kind of like arc from one place to another. Yeah, there's definitely like things moving in the mist that are clearly light and energy. And if they were just gas igniting, it might explain the ones going up, but not the ones arcing across. That's more for Chanor, given that you have a high intelligence. What's your hand raise? Tell me what.
Is this directly over the water, or like to the east on the side of the bank, or in like on the ground itself?
It is in the bank, yeah.
Okay, on the bank.
Yeah.
Okay. So we see that. We don't know 100%, but we can see from the way it's moving. I'll explain what details the headband helps me understand, and be like, "Hey, the way phosphorescence and gases work, and blah 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 blah, fancy words." And is there safe embankment that I could send Band-Aid along to like go check out?
Yeah. I mean, the bank itself isn't unstable, that you've seen it all. Some of it has like a clear edge, some of it just kind of like declines into the water, depending on the way that the like rock structure versus soil structure. But it's all pretty solid. Band-Aid can get across. It will probably take about another hour for Band-Aid to like traverse around, or maybe a half hour actually. That's not terrible. Yeah, there's a little bit of a wait, during which the crab is still sending pings back of like other large creatures, a lot of stuff moving around the bottom. Hey, I think that was a giant eel. Like just weird shit in the lake. Nothing too crazy, but definitely a lot of living things in the water.
But what color was the stuff in the water?
That is more of a like bluish, like more light bluish iridescent glow, like what we would picture like a jellyfish having that kind of like blue tint to it, for the most part. But as the crab is getting more towards center, there is some of this stuff that like there's a pilot fish that goes by that the orb is that same bluish green tint, and Snipps, you can convey that to them, that like the deeper into the water you're getting, like you're seeing more of a synchronization with the color scheme.
Was there a specific color that the people said they saw?
I
Blue.
don't believe. Yeah, I think it was
Probably
they
blue.
were just pinning down
just said
blues,
blue.
but and you guys could definitely, like, if you were just gonna describe this to someone else, you might not say chartreuse or anything. You might just say blue.
Seems like we found the right spot.
Yeah, but what we're seeing up here and what it seems like Snipps is seeing are two separate phenomenon, potentially related.
You said that the shapes of the lights above the water are like in like a flame-esque type shape.
The ones that are on the bank, some of them are shooting straight up like it's just gas catching on fire, but the ones that are moving like from point A to point B in an arc or across definitely aren't moving like fire should be. So it kind of throws the theory partially out, or at least says that there might be two things happening over there.
Are those arcs persistent, or is it just one flaming thing arcs to another and is then gone again?
Very good question. So there, the ones that just kind of shoot off, there doesn't seem to be a timing pattern to it, and the ones that arc, they have large gaps between it. But what tends to be happening is you'll see like arc, 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 and then a delay. The other ones is like pop, 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 pop. So yeah, there's a difference in the timing, a difference in consistency. The arcs definitely seem to have more of a program to them, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
No, not from the distance you're at. I think you have like 50 feet, 500 feet, like whatever it is. This is pretty far away.
Too far away? Okay.
Yeah, you're still. I mean, a mile is a little over 5,000 feet, and you are definitely not a full mile away, but you're definitely more close to being a mile away than not.
Whenever. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought we were behind the rocks on the bank.
Yes.
Does that
so
mean on a different bank?
I'm on the impression you guys are still on the southwest corner, not on the southeast corner.
Okay.
Do I have that right?
I thought we were on the southeast corner.
I did think. I wasn't driving though.
Yeah, I thought we were where it was happening.
Okay, well then, so you guys are traveling, seeing this stuff kind of starting to kick off at first, and you're moving towards it and approaching as you're getting the pings instead of just sitting still on the bank. That's how we'll retcon this real quick. So you are getting a lot closer to it. Do you still want to approach the space that all this is happening in? I guess is my question.
Maintain a safe distance.
If Band-Aid is in the lead, does it feel like
I forgot that Band-Aid was ahead too. So yeah, Band-Aid, we'll say Band-Aid is like double sprinting, and like Band-Aid is doing that, and Gauze is kind of like keeping at a trot pace. Yeah, Band-Aid eventually is just like, there's a bunch of people over here, and you like snip in, and you just see that there are a bunch of humanoid-looking things that are just drinking handfuls of lake water and then like spitting out these like weird color effects. Sometimes they're shooting them straight up, sometimes they're like shooting them at each other in little like arcs. There's just people throwing around energy, and somehow the lake water is involved.
Are they inside of the lake and just spitting it
On the
around,
bank.
or are they on the bank?
Yeah, so like they'll play for a couple minutes, then run over and like take another mouthful, and then like go back to what they were doing.
What's the age of these humanoid creatures? Can we tell, or is it too dark? I say we. I'm not the one seeing this.
Yeah, Chanor, roll me a perception check through your familiar's eyes.
Yeah. To be fair,
Also-
I am less interested in the age and more just like like racial features more than anything? Like, are they aquatic based?
Also, now the
or...
race of a child matters, do it.
Not the child. I don't care if they're a child. I just care about their race. That is an 8. That's not better.
Can I quote you with that?
In this situation, sure.
So with an 8, you are not getting a clear sense. There's still too much mist, and like the light is kind of distorting a lot of stuff. But the bigger concern is that they all look vaguely unhealthy, slightly emaciated, like they haven't been eating enough. But they also, you can tell that they are of varied races. Like some of them have pointy ear, some of them don't. Some of them have that more greenish, orcish skin tone. Some of them look a little bit more bronzy.
So, if I made a guess, it's not... Okay, so the way they were spitting it up, it's not necessarily they were doing it, like, for fun or anything. It was... Or... It sounded, the way you described it first, it sounded playful almost. It sounds like... So it was playful, okay. But they still seem very emaciated and unhealthy, basically.
Right.
Okay.
But they are having what looks like fun.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Hearing that they are emaciated and unhealthy, Quillz is going to be like, zombies?
Yeah, they're zombies having a grand old time spewing out energy. Do we want to try the approach last time, or should we just go and say hey and see what the fuck happens? Or do we want to try something else?
No.
Snipps is not hearing that. He's currently tuned into Eugene.
So roll me an intelligence. No, an intelligence check. I guess it's an intelligence check, wisdom check. What do you have someone roll when they're trying to like connect information that might not be obvious?
Insight?
I really don't know. That can be intelligence or wisdom, but yeah, I don't know.
Let's do insight. Insight sounds like the right thing, actually. That is the type of thinking around corners we need in this moment.
Was that like, can anybody do it, or like specifically Quillz, or specifically?
Specifically, Snipps, because they're the ones seeing the stuff under the ocean directly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, their familiar's eyes. Or under the ocean, under the lake.
Under the sea.
Under the sea. Okay. 16.
You get a strong sense that the fact that the deeper water seems to convey more color of energy and light from creatures down here in a closer hue to what they're spitting up around there, that there's something about the liquid that is imbuing this these light effects in some way, shape, or form. The water is somehow has something in it that's causing this. So it's exposure based.
Okay, so basically, whatever they're doing, the water is some kind of key component in that.
Right.
Water is a conduit.
They could only do it here, basically. Whatever's happening here.
Why they're here and not at the river. Would casting silent image just to see how they interact with somebody else be a thing?
That's clever. Yeah, hit it.
Or very stupid, depending on.
Or very stupid. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking my compatriots.
Honestly, if you're looking to test someone's response to strangers, that's a pretty good way to see how they react to strangers.
Yeah, that's a much better.
Strange anything.
That's much better than my idea was going to be have Gauze drink the water and see if she also makes the sparkling rainbow thing, just to like interact with them in the manner that they're currently doing. But I think I'd rather go with your method first.
Yeah, just to see if they're in any way friendly or hostile.
Maybe it's friendly.
Maybe it's friendly. So Quillz is going to. She's not. Whenever she casts the creature, it's not going to appear like in their vicinity. It's going to appear like on the kind of like coming from a different direction.
Yeah.
Just in case that they're hostile.
Right.
And it's going to be it's going to be an image of somebody who, yes, Jim. Vinny.
You can do your thing first. I just have a question that I want to ask after.
Oh, okay. It's going to be of figure that's going to be half elf, half orc.
Cool.
Fitting in with the sort of greenish skin and the somewhat pointy ears of some of the creatures. And it's not going to be, I would not call it emaciated, but on the thin side.
Okay.
And coming, like, she's going to cast it, like, it's coming from a direction about 40 feet away from where they're at. Heading towards them.
Okay, so 40 feet away from where they are, moving towards
From,
them.
no, from where we are.
From where you are.
Because I have a range of 60 feet.
Okay.
So I want it to
How
be.
How close to them is this happening? Like, are you summoning it like 80 feet from them, 40 feet from you, and like letting it arc its way up, or is it like something that you're having appear closer to them, given that the mist is already kind of playful and weird?
I think I'm gonna have it so it's 40 feet from us, probably 50 feet from them, so it's not quite like a scare situation. Okay. It's like a gradual approach to them. Does that sound?
We have and Chanor has is observing through Band-Aid what's happening, and you also had your hand up. What was that for?
Yeah, this is more of a lore world question, I guess. Is I don't know how cut off different cities and sections are. I know how we interact with Lorda. Do we know if east or southeast from here there is another civilization or city or something that these people are from, or like do we just think it's like empty and this is weird as fuck that these people appeared?
You think it's weird as fuck. There aren't like cities out here. You know that occasionally people will have like there'll be like a little family house that they've just chosen to live near a lake or like a different place, but as far as you've known, there's not a lot of houses in this region, and I'm sure like if you were asking the dock workers about this stuff, they would have been like, oh, we saw some lights down by, like, that town instead of, like, just on the other side of the lake. Like, they probably would have given the information differently. So there's no reason that people should be hanging out here this concentrated without the dock workers knowing about it. Like, if they're not giving emaciated people rides back and forth, like, that strikes you as weird. Cool.
Artemis.
All right, so your guys, your projection's moving through. You have eyes on it. Snipps.
Artemis has his hand up.
Yeah, a quick question. Is the lake salt or freshwater?
Freshwater.
Okay, because it's called Lake Brine Fog, so figured I'd ask.
No, that's fair.
It's a fantasy
It was very much a misunderstanding of like why there's always foam up on the edges and people just being like, it's probably brine. Way back in the day. Yes. So we have an illusion walking towards, and Band-Aid's watching. What Band-Aid sees, or you see through Band-Aid, is these things are kind of like, are the people are playing and like spitting things and like playing at the water and doing this stuff, and they seem to be enjoying themselves in a sort of like weird way, but it's not completely bonkers. Like it's just not something you've seen anyone do in town in any way, shape, or form. Like even kids play, it doesn't really match up to the logic. But as the illusion gets within about 25 feet of one of them, there's just suddenly like they stop and start like sniffing at the air and then turn and see it. And what Band-Aid sees is as they smile, like their teeth have a slight glow to them, the eyes have a little bit of glow to them, and the thing like runs over to the illusion and dives into it, and like the illusion gets like sucked right into it, them, and they just spit out another burst of energy.
Okay, so they eat magic.
Yeah, I say that out loud. I'm like, okay, so they eat magic and then spew it back up in a very adorable, fun way. Band-Aid's gonna back up now, and I'm just gonna start retracting Band-Aid. You know what? I'm just gonna... no, I'll just have him back up slowly in case other things happen, so I can be aware.
Yeah. So yeah, and just roll me an intelligence check while you're at it, Vinny.
Sure.
Not quite an insight check either, but I can actually make it an insight check because it is the same logic if you're trying to connect info.
Oh, did I get new portent rolls? at this point? I'm assuming so,
You
right?
should,
Because
yes.
it's been days.
You should do that, yeah.
Let me do that real quick. A 19 and an 8. Okay.
The silent image is gone, or
Yes.
okay?
I rolled a 2 for an intelligence check. No, 2 insight check. I rolled a 2.
Okay, then yes, you have no other information out of this. You're just sort of like, that's weird.
Yep.
And then you have Band-Aid start backing out.
So
how
we
many
all
people-
need to like talk and not be in
Imagine.
our familiars' heads.
Luckily, I don't have a familiar. That's why I cast Silent Image.
Yet.
You said yet.
So that's a weird
Um,
situation that I'm not sure how to handle.
How many creatures were there? You said.
Was there a rough
you
number?
guys can see, yeah, you guys can see about 8.
Okay.
But there's other things moving in the mist, but you can't tell if it's just people or weirdness in the mist. Like it could just be
Okay.
difference of like darkness and light coming through.
So there's a lot of different puzzle pieces here. One, they're eating magic, and they're siphoning it usually, specifically from the lake, it seems. Which means the lake is producing some form of magic under there. Whether that's
But
good
they're
or
also
bad.
spitting it back.
It seems maybe that's just like an after effect. Like, again, like you eat food, you have gas. It doesn't necessarily mean it's useful in any way. It might just be a thing. Because we don't know. We have to do. I think we have to do a
Roll
little
me
more
an Arcana
research.
check, real quick.
Because otherwise, I'm going
Which
to
one
just
of us?
Something that's
both of us.
This is something you could probably parse out that's different than what I was going to have you learn if you got the other roll correct.
16.
16.
Me too.
You're,
Or
no, just
okay.
he has the higher intelligence to start with, and he already
Makes
was
sense.
kind of like working through the logic. You basically estimate that they are gaining some magical energy by absorbing the water, and that's what's motivating that, and that the bursts of like spitting out the magical energy is more the only trick they know. It seems it's like what casting would look like if you didn't know how to make it do something specific.
So their only form of like thaumaturgy is let's vomit rainbows.
Yeah, they're just like doing a thing. Like it's like Jubilee from the X-Men. Like has a mutant power, but all it is lights.
So
I'm a young cat.
So they're basically just having fun with the magic they know, but they are absorbing it, and it's probably how they're getting nutrients. I don't know. I Vinny / Chanor don't know how this is a problem that we directly solve, or if it's one that we need to solve. But if it's blight related, they could be getting hurt, or something could be getting hurt in the process too. I'm also word vomiting, so anyone else can take over.
So I think the question is, do we interact with these people directly, or do we figure out a way to find out what the heck is at the bottom of this lake that is causing this?
Well, their first response to a humanoid coming up and approaching them, it might be because they sense magic, but we also all have magic on us in some forms. So if their first decision when they sense a thing of magic is to like nom it, us approaching, probably not great. But they may not sense full magic from us. They might sense humanoid and just like residual
We
magic.
all have magical items, though.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
But residual magic might smell or taste differently than like that was full blown magic, and I don't.
Also, they acted like from what you described, they acted like a dog whenever they smelled the magic. Like the
Was it more
situation?
Out of curiosity, was it more like predator jumping at prey, or was it more like, hey, like Quillz is saying, like dog like, where it's like, hey, it's a toy, let me get it and play with it.
Definitely more of that play. Again, it seems like play. Like it didn't seem like an attack as much as excitement and like, ooh, different thing.
Okay. But the way it was described, or at least the way which means then Chanor picks it, was like glowing teeth, glowing eyes, like
yeah.
that. So
yeah.
From a tiny standpoint, both can be construed as the same thing.
Fair.
Both can be the case.
The teeth and eyes thing with your Arcana check, I'll also say that you're sensing similar to what Snipps was noticing about the sea life. that there is some sort of saturation issue happening that's probably changing their features in the process.
So should we? So my question is to you: should we explore the lake now, or should we go scuba diving in broad daylight?
Do we have a way of getting down there? Is the question.
I have no
I
water
can
based
ask my
spells.
friends. I don't either. I have a lot of illusions, so.
Does this technology exist right now similar to even old fashioned scuba gear, or is that like?
It's the type of thing that if there wasn't, it's the type of thing that Josepha would probably be able to solve, but I will blatantly state that I was never planning on you guys doing this. However, that's interesting because there is information down there technically, but I can tell you that Snipps' familiar is probably just going to come across it anyway. So how about
we'll just
I hand wave this moment and say that Snipps is does a quick spot check to see how dangerous it looks down there for trying to go down, if any of the things look like they are predatory. And in the process, notices there does seem to be. Have you ever guys? Hopefully this makes sense to the audience, but have you guys ever seen footage of a river in a river?
Oh yes.
When you say a river and a river, do you mean two rivers meeting, or a river next to a river?
A river in a river. There's types of water where the two flows are different saturations of minerals or materials, and as a result, they act like a body of water within a body of water. So it has its own flow, its own resistance that may be completely different. So essentially, what you're seeing is under the water, there's a second liquid that's coming through and has its own movement, kind of like a bubbling spring, but it's flowing around. In its natural perceived form, it has a really murky gray tone with these threads and quick little sparks of the magical energy color. And Snipps, if you want to roll me an Arcana check on that, we'll see if you can make an estimation of what you think it is in reason.
Can I do an assist for this roll?
21.
It's not good. Oh, never mind. I don't need to.
Oh, I rolled a 16. That's pretty decent.
If they had not gotten a good roll, I might have had them describe it to you, and then you have to roll a history check or something to see if you picked up something that sounds like that in the books. But,
if I hadn't gotten a good roll, I would have used one of my temporary rerolls.
Fair. So you are estimating that there might be, wherever the source of the blight is, there might be some of it leaking out into this lake. And that's what's causing the weird saturation issues, and why it doesn't happen in the river compared to here.
Can you tell what direction it's coming from?
You can tell it's coming from a little west of center. Definitely coming from a little closer to town than the opposite side, but it's still fairly. It's within half a mile of center. It's just on the west side of it.
Okay, does the energy itself, or just the river inside of a lake, does it seem in any way malicious or dangerous to the local wildlife? Or is it just for example, you have some types of briny flows on the bottom of the ocean? Is it just there?
And you definitely notice that the things that live closer to this level, where it's kind of spending most of its density, or its density is keeping the majority of it, that the fish life here has different traits and different levels of that magical glow than the ones closer to the edges and surface. So living closer to it, think of it like mercury poisoning, essentially. If you're on the bed versus swimming around, you probably have higher concentrations of minerals and materials that are soaking it up, and that will change you. Whether it's malicious, you're not getting a sense of intent. It's just a matter of
Okay, in that case, malicious is a bad word to describe it. Does it seem harmful?
Not in any obvious way. Though the people up here who are emaciated, you can definitely imply that there's something not perfectly healthy about it. But that also might be a choice of, what they're doing with their time as opposed to the liquid itself. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to relay that to the group, just with there seems to be some kind of, well, for lack of a better term, underwater river there.
We gotta hydrate.
Oh no. There seems to be some kind of underwater river or something going there. And I mean, you see the color of the whatever thing they're spitting out, and the river itself is kind of grayish and just flows underwater like a normal river would on the surface, but it also has this kind of bluish green sparks in there. It kind of seems like whatever they're just gulping up out of the water is down there in a far more concentrated form and is coming from somewhere west from where we are right now.
Chanor?
My steed and familiar, are they more of an essence of magic than like material, like physical reality?
The familiar is closer to magical than physical, and the steed is closer to physical than magical. If we're on a scale, it's like a 2 versus a 4 on a scale to 5.
Gotcha. I don't want to send... I don't know. Problem is, I don't know if the end result of them gulping down whatever it is like finishing, like they're like if it's entropy, like it's gone afterwards. Because can I send Band-Aid closer to check them out, but be ready to snap him out of existence on the off chance that something jumps at him to try to absorb him?
I see what you're saying. I thought you were going in a very different direction, but yes.
I just want to test to see how they do. Like, what I want to do is this. I want Band-Aid to, like, get close and maybe drink some water and then also spit out some stuff to show, like, hi, I'm a creature that kind of gets what you're doing. But if, like, I see any of them trying to, like, gulp my goat, I'll want to snap him out before it happens.
Fair.
I don't know if there's specific things I need to do for that, but that's Chanor's idea, and he's going to share that with the group.
I might have you do a dex save to see if you can like take the action before they get to him if there's a reaction, but that seems unlikely at the moment because here's what's going to happen. You have Band-Aid go over and take a mouthful, and instead of what's been happening with those guys, Band-Aid goes like doubles in size, and like all the fur kind of takes on this sort of like iridescent sense to it.
Oh.
And they all notice, but they're not like, they're more just like, ooh, and they like, there's a bit of applause, and like, they go back to what they're doing.
This water is really weird. I'll explain to them what just happened if they can't see it. I'm assuming they might be able to if Band-Aid's now...
They probably see the glow that just appeared and is kind of like tiny goat shaped through the mist.
So that's Band-Aid. He grew up real fast. This is too soon. You should have Eugene gulp some water and see what happens.
I mean, Eugene breathes the water currently, so I'm interested how he will come out.
Cookie.
That's the thing, you can't see him from here, but oh boy, you guys in for a treat.
How big will Eugene be?
I'm excited for
Will we be able to drive Eugene back?
It's Vol'jin now.
Krabby evolved into Kingler. I'm real excited for it.
Basically.
Cool. I'm gonna call Band-Aid back to like look him over, like to like physically like actually look him over now.
Yeah.
Drunk that stuff. Now I'm super confused and curious.
Band-Aid, you go over, you kind of like doing the checkout thing, and Band-Aid on 2 different occasions, and you can't tell if this is like playful or if this is aggressive because you've never seen Band-Aid really do aggressive and it just didn't make sense. But headbutts you like twice in the process of like just kind of like not wanting to sit still and like feeling kind of energized, but like headbutts you a couple times in the process. Not hard enough to hurt because still like tiny, but
I think this screws with brain chemicals in some way. I wish I understood that as well as I think I do, or my headband does.
Quillz.
Is Opehc's water source the river or the lake?
Neither. They have their own water tower.
Okay, wonderful. I just wanted to make sure.
Whole town of people getting real punchy.
Well, on the plus side, we do not need any night lights.
There is that.
How low is Chanor? Is it like not Chanor, Band-Aid? Is it like low level hum or is he like a neon?
No, like a 5-foot glow.
Okay.
Just like a little bit of light coming off the edges.
You're looking
The
cute,
aura
buddy.
is beautiful.
You're like, you're looking cute, buddy. I headbutt him back playfully. Yeah. Thank God I'm stupid and I have a thick skull.
You're not seeing it as blatantly, but like there is a little bit of a shimmer in the eyes too. It's not quite the same level of iridescent shine that the you saw in the other thing and the other people over there, but like it's in there.
Yeah, so I guess the point is, do we want to interact with them? Something tells me, aka God tells me, we shouldn't worry about underneath the lake at the moment. So do we feel like trying to chat with these guys? Last time we tried chatting with people,
If about an hour or so has passed, Snipps would have told Eugene beforehand to come back after about an hour of checking it out, just because I can communicate with my familiar as long as it is in about 100 feet distance,
Oh, it's way
which is
outside 100
way
feet.
more
I
than that.
allow for a lot more transmission on that.
Yeah, no, I can observe, I just cannot communicate. So it's just if an hour has passed, Eugene is set to come back.
Okay. Yeah, eventually, you guys are having this whole conversation, and how far? You guys are less than or about 60 feet away from where these things are playing. Yes.
What's the idea?
But like, kind of hiding, like.
Well, Quillz summoned the thing 40 feet away, and then it had 50 feet to walk. So I think 90 feet would be
okay.
Not that it's 30 feet. I'm just doing the math.
I have to, so the thing had to be within 60 feet of me.
Oh, so we had to move that close then.
But the thing was, it wasn't a straight shot from us because if it was aggressive, I didn't want it to come straight at us. So we were on one side and it came from the other direction.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That makes more sense. Cool. You're kind of like, we'll say 60 to 90 feet. You're in a like safe pocket where like you might have approached, done the thing, and then backed away again. But so as you guys are standing there and Chanor is interacting with Band-Aid and Snipps, you sense that Quillz, or that crab's name?
Eugene.
Another
crab.
Mr. Krabs.
You sense that Eugene is almost back. Like you get the sense that they're back in telepathic range, or clear telepathic range. And I need you all to roll me a perception check.
Do we even want to re-roll that?
20.
12.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of my chronal shifts to re-roll the 2. Oh, that's a 12. That's a lot better. 12.
You and Chanor both notice a glow in the water, and Quillz, you notice that all the things that were playing are now also just watching the glow in the water. As it surfaces, you see a 30-foot tall crab start to like emerge. And its whole shell has like just a radiance coming off of it. But all of the creatures off to the side are just like in awe of this. And as they all start like cheering and whooping and playing, Snipps, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
16.
You barely, like, you're like, Eugene, is that? And then, like, the claw comes down and swoops at you, and you, like, barely step out of the way.
Okay,
But
immediately afterwards, Eugene's gone.
nope. You try to puff out, and it does not puff out.
Oh, shit.
And
Do I
is
still
where
have
we're gonna pick
control
out
over
next
him?
week.
Well, fuck.
King up.
Sounds about
Oh
right.
no. Get ready to battle the Crab King.
Shiny.
You get to kill your own pet.
That's
Maybe.
okay. That's okay. The other one died.
Oh, I was like,
This is my
Ave
pet
was your
replacement.
pet?
No. Oh no,
No, I
OG
got there, I
Eugene
got there.
died. This is
I got there.
pet replacement.
This is Eugene Jr.
I forgot that there was a previous crab that was
Ave
real
was
before the
petty.
familiar.
That's the difference.
Oh, but no. Yeah, you guys have done a good job, found out some information, identified some seepage, and now there's a little bit of weird consequences. But for the viewers, we will deal with that next week. And you guys will be level 7. I didn't want to start anything before level 7 really kicks off. So I want you guys to level up in the meantime. And treat that as if you've been here. I know we didn't do the initiative roll because I knew we weren't really going to need anything that defined at the moment, but we're going to do that at the start of the next session. And I will say you each did some neat stuff today. So for next session, you each have an inspiration point waiting for you.
Yay. Leveling up
I almost
really,
awarded some earlier, but we were like already past the halfway mark, and that seemed silly.
really leveling up doesn't affect anything beyond like our health at this point, right? Because of all the other magical mechanics that we have going on.
Yeah, it mostly affects your health, and it might affect like what I don't. Level 7, I don't think does anything to your cantrips or feats, but I think it gets you closer to the level 8 kickoff that will do that. So, yeah, it's mostly an HP boost as well as it might adjust your proficiency. I don't think it does that either. I think level 8 does that too. All right, it's fine. Yeah, it's just a minor health boost at the
Does
moment.
nothing.
Yeah, it's level 5 and then level 9. It's always the level after ASIs that does it.
Right. Okay. And we're not getting to level 9. So yeah, the level 8 will give you the ASIs where you can add a feat or a thing, and that'll give you a nice little kick.
Yeah.
But no, the magical boost that I gave you earlier today was technically part of the level 7 level up, but I didn't know if you guys were going to need to use mana, so I wanted to make sure you had at least that coming in. I knew I wasn't going to let you lose hit points yet because I was not ready for combat to start that close to end time.
Yeah. Okay.
Any final things from you, Griff, before I just take over closing announcements?
Don't think I have anything else. It's just make sure to do the level up. If you guys want to have hand waved, we can say that you did the 4 hours of spellbook copying from Ave's spellbook before you guys went. So if you want to amend any of your spells with a level 4 or lower, or level 4 levels worth of spells, I'll have allowed that if you want to tweak that. And we can just say that Lido basically lets you do the 8 hours in 2 phases if you want. If you want to do an 8th level spell transfer, you can have done half of it and then come back for the other half later. That is also acceptable. But yeah, that is all the important gears turning stuff, and looking forward to see which way the wind blows on this one.
Oh yeah.
Vinny, to you.
Cool, thank you. Once again, guys, for those I want to just give a quick plug to our Never-Ending Notebook Volume 1, Vault of the Ivory Queen. We do have a Kickstarter going for that now. Please check it out. Link for it will be in the chat right before we send off to raid somebody. In addition to that, we have Friday is Gentlefolk, session 4, I think session 4, as we pick up where we left off last time after some crazy stuff. And then next week we have Light Arc on Sunday, and then back to Blight of Opehc next Wednesday. Beyond that, we also have, I think, me and maybe Griff will probably be around PAX East, so if you happen to be gamers up in the Boston area, I will definitely be there. Okay, cool. So
I might hang out at the hotel bar for a bit, but I likely will not be in the con floor because I don't have any of my friends who are going, as far as I know, aside from you, and I'll see you probably in Meandering anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to come talk to us about D&D stuff, well, find me because I'll be there the whole weekend. If you can find Griff, good job stalking him, I guess. Either way, that is it for this time. We're gonna do our closing credits, and then we will send you off to someone else playing around tonight. Have a good night, guys.
Bye, folks.